How's it going, everybody? I am Kyle from Fantasy Forge Studios, and we are back with our last session of Adventures in Middle-earth before the new year. 2024 is our last session of 2023, and my technically official last stream of 2023. So I'm happy to be able to have all of you that are here now. For those of you who join in later, awesome too. We should be joined by all of our players tonight. Dom is running a little bit late, but he should be here in a few minutes, hopefully. But without further ado, let's go ahead and just introduce the characters that we do have, starting with Jess. It's okay, you get to set the tempo for everyone here. I'm not gonna lie, that was literally perfect timing, because as soon as you said healing abilities, I have a thing going right now where it's just a goblin that went oh man, I hope all of you guys heard that on stream. That was great. I have some sweet goblin ambiance in the back, so it's good. She's doing her best and surviving so far. Absolutely. This is true. Sad day. But then my heart was going. I was like, we just made her a new character, and she's gonna get one shot by falling into a hole. My heart was.
Stream can't
How
hear you.
dare.
How about now?
You guys can hear me, so it's not on my
yeah.
end.
I think we're okay.
Very strange.
Dom, we're relying on you to tell us
How about
stuff now.
Anybody
Well-
that's here? Yeah, Dom, let us know.
Chat,
While
can
that's
you hear me?
happening, while that's going, yeah, there we go. Apparently, so yeah, do you reintroduce yourself again? I'm willing
Okay.
to wait.
But the timing will be wrong with the goblin laugh now.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe
well.
it'll be
Matter.
okay.
It was a beautiful
Okay.
moment that we got.
Fate will
know.
determine what's going to happen here, because it's kind of randomly on loop. So we'll see.
Oh my god. Okay, yes, hello, hi. I am SpiderFan33 in chat, or I play Jessmine Sackville Baggins, cousin of and decreed rival of Bilbo Baggins. She is known for her sneakiness and her stickiness of fingers, as well as her magnificent cooking and healing abilities. Yes. And she's managed to inspire a absolute fear of lemons within Valineth, so I'm doing great.
The real reason he left the party.
The real reason.
That's the mixture between the cooking and the healing. What's the connecting thread of that? Lemons.
Lemons.
Lemons
It's
is the connecting
lemons.
thread. It's great.
I don't even know what she.
Also garlic
Yeah, that's true too.
and something. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, there we go.
And who is it? Our next character is Feanor.
Hey guys, I'm Nick, or Lovecrest in the chat. I'm playing Feanor, our Mirkwood Elf Slayer. He's just sent away his, last time I was here, I sent away my wonderful mount, so I don't actually get any of my barbarian benefits from that. But let's hope that we can fight our way out of here and wrap up this this adventure, get a real epic conclusion to this for the end of the year. So that when we come back next year, it's seeing what everyone gets up to over the winter.
Exactly, during the perfectly timed Yule Fellowship phase, which
Mm.
I guess we'll see how
Can't
perfectly
wait.
timed it is, but we'll see. Once we're all taking a break, all of you guys in game are taking a break too. So, um, but with that,
Most like we planned that.
it's like perfect. I mean,
Oh,
I've
man,
got
yeah.
I've got Mr. Santa here. I almost wore a Santa hat, but then I
Mm.
realized I don't have a Santa hat, so I just have my Santa coffee. We're good. We're
Mhm.
ready.
I've got the Nightmare Before Christmas shirt.
And I'm wearing something vaguely red, so let's
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
Yeah, and I've got a scrunchie as well.
There's
I've
a
got
little
my
bit of
aircon
green
on
in
and
your
everything.
background, I think. Back to your right, little bit of green, maybe not.
Yeah.
You should do the LED lights like green or something.
I don't have it set up at the moment, so
Okay.
that's
Such
for shame. But yes,
Same.
onwards, back to the cave.
Back to the
Let's
cave.
see
Yeah.
if we die.
Let's do it.
And then we have
Oh, we're not gonna
Theodric,
die.
which I'll go ahead and briefly introduce him. I can see that Dom is on here, but we'll see how well I do. But Theodric is the rider of Rohan, a young man from the Rittermark, and he is a slayer as well. So him and Feanor take the front lines and use swords and weapons and shields and things to fight things and kill goblins and orcs and evil people. And with that, he is on a quest with the rest of them to kind of find out a little bit more of his dreams, but also a little bit more about his past and his bloodlust, his battle fury that he has. But in the meantime, he is with this party of adventurers, and he is helping save, a very scared hobbit from a very dismal situation. And he did some serious work last week, not being exhausted and making sure that Jess didn't fall. So that's also very good. But I am Kyle.
It's always good when he's not exhausted. That's been a big bane in his side.
Yeah, I am
Yeah.
exhausted currently, so this is
Oh,
gonna be interesting.
I can
Feanor
give you
is
a thing.
also
You
exhausted,
being
too.
exhausted. Oh, but then we'll
Oh yeah, you have those honey
I can fix that.
cakes.
Don't worry about that.
Oh my god, I forgot about those.
See, this is why I have to be here, because I am not expecting everyone to know my entire hack.
I also don't
Yes.
want to use
I don't
very
even know my own
useful items
abilities.
when you are also gone. It'd be like you come back and you're like, "Where's my honey cakes?" Like, "Oh yeah, you used all of them." It's like,
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I got to be here. But no, and then we have Kyle.
Guys, that's me.
Oh yeah,
I'm the lore master.
esteemed lore master.
I play both with and against. Again, it feels like I'm playing a lot against the party lately, but most importantly, narrating the tale that they are telling and unfolding here in the world of Middle-earth as they fight back against the Shadow. But a little bit of recap for those who don't know or have no idea what's going on. You see this map up here. They're in a dungeon. You hear some goblins being goblins in the background. But the group, the company, is on an adventure on a quest to go save Dindy Brandybuck. They did so starting from Roskabel after the Folkmoot, making their way all the way up to the Old Ford, going westward across it to the High Pass where he was last known to be. They encountered ghosts. They apparently time traveled or something. But they found Dindy along with the Brelanders and Igwar, fortified on top of a old hill fort, fighting back goblins, waiting for the next night. And fortunately, the party came just in time, as the goblins had their fill of toying with the Brelanders, and tonight was the night that there was going to be an assault. However, unknowing that the new, very combat-oriented party was there to be able to help, they were able to drive back the defenders and ultimately slay Ubhurs, who was the orc commander who was leading the charge of orcs. However, Dindy still was taken. The ultimate goal, which they found out after interrogating one of the goblins, a goblin by the name of Grick, he is going to be used to cook the food that was stolen, but also potentially be eaten as well. And so party, in adventuring fashion, made their way into underneath the Misty Mountains, finding the hidden doorway, and traveled for hours upon hours down in the tunnels. They heard creepy noises from some weird tappings, giving them points of shadow, but also they were able to kind of cross this very sketchy pit with a waterfall, and it was very sketchy as Jess almost fell to her death, but alas, dexterity saving throw did the job. So that was good. In the time of need, dexterity saving throw did the job. But they were able to cross, and following the tracks of these goblins that had taken Dindy and the goblin song off in the distance, they were able to come upon the goblin's lair, to which it was being guarded at the entrance by 2 orcs, not goblins, orcs. But they were both very drunk, drinking some kind of liqueur. And sneaking around and doing her thing, Jess, she was able to kind of discover that they were a little bit lacquered up, and the party decided to disguise her as a goblin, to which she successfully made her way through before Feanor and Theodric did what they did best and dispatched of the orcs. But in the meantime, Jess, disabling the bell alert system, wandered back into the kitchens where she saw Dindy busily at work, cooking and preparing, talking to himself in a state of panic. And she noticed that he has been shackled to the wall by an iron chain. And that is where we're going to go ahead and leave it over. We'll kick off this session with Jess and Dindy, and we'll wait just a few moments as both Feanor and Theodric are sneaking. You guys made stealth checks, and so you're sneaking up the hall not knowing what's up ahead. So you're doing that, and so I'm going to have you guys, when I let you know, you guys can go ahead and join into the room as well. But let's go ahead and hand the reins over to Jess. So Dindy is shaking, and he just is like in a state of panic. Like he's like beyond the point of sobbing. His eyes are like stained like with tears, but he's just like almost in a state of panic. Like, I have to get this done. And so there you go, Jess.
Yep. So I'm just like holding him, like I'm holding his shoulders or hands, just like trying to ground him, and I'll just be like, Dindy, you have to look at me, okay? We're here. No, look at me.
Yes.
We're here to rescue you. It's gonna be okay.
I hope so.
It's gonna be fine.
I hope so. You see, it's been.
Do you know how often they come here?
It seems every couple of minutes. They're relentless. I'm cooking. I can't keep up with what they want me to cook. It's potatoes first, then meat, and then all this. And I fear if I don't give them what they want, I'm going to be the next. I'm going to be their pudding.
Okay, it's okay. All right. Can you keep this up for another few minutes until they come again?
I think so.
Okay.
And
all right. I'm just going to be over here.
And he hurriedly goes over to this kind of like makeshift chopping station, begins peeling and chopping potatoes as fast as he could. And this is quite fast-paced even for Hobbits. Like,
oh yeah.
And he's just like shoving them like over to the side and putting them in a pot, or taking it over to the side of the fire, and it begins to boil. I'm gonna have you, Jess, make a perception check for me as you kind of take in just the general scene. And with that, Feanor and Theodric have wandered their way into the campfire light. You don't see Jess. Speaking of which, Jess, where do you want to go?
5 for the perception. I'm gonna go. I mean, I think I would actually, like, after talking to Dindy, I would go. Let me broadcast my nice. Like back towards this way to conflab with the others.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and it's a matter of time. You're not able to take in a lot that's going on here, but you keep peering up the passageway as you begin to see shadows come up the corridor. These are clearly not orcs, but your companions, Theodric and Feanor.
Yeah.
Jess, what were you able to find?
Well, there's Dindy. He's shackled to the wall. I can get him out of there, I think.
Do you have a key, or are you going to just break the chain?
Well, neither.
All
I
right.
was just gonna pick the lock. Just
Yes,
don't.
the subtle approach.
I mean,
All
it
right then.
is. We don't want to draw unnecessary attention.
Mhm.
So right. I was. We should
So
wait.
wait, why haven't we gotten him already then?
Well,
If we're doing the subtle
if we
approach.
want to get a good head start, I think it would be better for them to come and then leave again, so we have like the most amount of time before someone notices that he's missing.
Wait, they're coming and going? Is it like a changing of the guard? Because Feanor kind of turns. I don't think we want them to see a changing of the guard.
No, I think they just come in every few minutes or so just to hassle him for more cooking.
It might be best then that you hide deep within the room.
Okay.
Just being able to see in there, Feanor's like pointing towards like one of these back corners or something, like behind some boxes and stuff, where it's like, if anything does go awry, at the very least, then you'll be able to block the entrance or be able to at least try attempt potentially finish them off on the way out if force is needed. Stop any
Right.
further alarms from being rung out.
Of course. Yeah, do I see an alarm bell in this room at all?
I'm gonna have the both of you make perception checks for me as you do so.
Okay.
As you're looking for such things.
Ha! Natural 1 for a 4.
I'm rolling at disadvantage.
These orc helms. So hard to see out of them.
I got a 7.
Okay, 7. You don't see, neither of you see any sign of alarm bells. And because of the way that this room is organized, it's very disheveled. And so things are very chaotic. There's basically a small place that you can tell most likely Dindy has pushed like crates and stuff aside. However, Jess, you do notice that some of these barrels have, or crates and barrels have the stamp of essentially the Shire on them. These are things that he is cooking with, but there are also a number of barrels and crates too that are unlabeled and do look old. And I will say both of you very much, technically all three of you, but both of you very much begin to notice the smell. There is directly next to where you are standing a small little alcove up here. That there are actively flies buzzing around this area. This seems to be some kind of a larder of, you have no idea what it is, but it's definitely not the fresh goods stolen from the caravan.
I stay away from that section.
Okay.
Feanor is going, actually wants to investigate it and wants to see what is there.
Nope.
Yeah. You wander. Jess, did you want to go back and hide anywhere in particular?
Yeah, let's pop me up this section. Just hiding behind some barrels and crates and stuff.
Absolutely. You pass Dindy at this point, and he has a he basically there's a teapot that's on, and it's begun to like start to whistle that it's ready, and he's rushing over to go tend to the teapot. But yeah, you make your way.
Feanor to say, just keep an ear out. I'm going to see what this is, but I don't want to be caught unprepared.
Theodric is going to duck behind these barrels. He still has his weapon drawn, but he's going to kind of crouch, seeing like what is going on. Feanor, I'm going to have you make an investigation check for me.
Another nat 1, a 2.
This is foul, whatever it is. It's gone so bad to the point where it started to become liquid almost. You could tell that there's bits of flesh that are hanging out of it. And I'm going to have you make a Constitution saving throw for me.
A 19.
19. You take 2 points of necrotic damage from this.
Ugh. Okay, that's not going to. Is there anything like? Feanor's kind of quickly look around, like maybe there's a container or something. No, this is too far gone, and it's just gonna kind of move away from it and like kind of a little bit back into the like corridor that they just came down.
Okay.
Enough so that he can still like peek in, but like so if anyone does approach, he can like pretend to be a guard or something.
Absolutely. Dindy doesn't seem to have even noticed that both you and Theodric have come in at this point. He didn't acknowledge Jess as she went to go sneak into the corner. This is a hobbit at work, that's for sure. And you can hear that he's talking to himself. And all of the while, you can hear this rattling of the chain that is basically around his foot. As he's hurriedly walking back and forth. Oh, I think we have Dom. Dom, if you want to drag yourself over in this direction,
Yay!
I can go ahead and get you
Welcome.
but yes, and so yeah, Feanor, you go ahead and hide. How long do all of you want to kind of stay hidden?
Until something further develops. I want to like see if I can measure how much time has passed.
Perfect. So
you're
unsure about when the last group came, but based off of what Dindy said about it seems like every couple of minutes, you wait, and it actually doesn't take you too long before 3 goblins. These ones look a lot less drunk than the orcs that were in the halls. Essentially make their way into the chamber. One of them is holding a spear, but the others are holding what look to be like dinner forks and knives. And they come over to Dindy, and they stand a little bit taller than he does, but they're kind of like lanky, and they probably don't eat very, very well. But one of them basically goes over and he points his fork right at Dindy and like pokes him in the cheek. Not enough to draw blood, but he pokes him in the cheek and says, "Hey, what do you have next for us? It was delicious. The chief wants more. What is this?" And they go over and they take like the entire like the meat basically skewer that is currently being rolled. And Dindy goes, "No, that's not done yet. You need to hurry up, or you'll be filling our bellies." And they take the entire skewer of meat that is slow roasting, and they start moving away. They don't even look to see if there's anyone else in the room, but the 3 of them start making their way back up the tunnel.
Okay. As soon as they pass that corner and it's out of line of sight, I'll be crawling out of my hiding space and going to unlock Dindy's.
Okay. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check for me.
Perfect. Can we just flavor it that my lockpicking tools are actually just bobby pins?
Yeah, absolutely.
Done.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Like thieves' tools would probably be very difficult in Middle Earth to get your hands on, because they typically can't be sold. So like I think that would make a lot of sense that it would just be like. Yeah, absolutely. This sleight of hand check is gonna be at disadvantage because of your exhaustion. So.
Yep. 12 at disadvantage.
Okay, perfect.
The only person who would really have thieves' tools would be like the local locksmith who literally makes the keys for people. So
yeah, exactly. Just in case you lock your keys in the car, right?
Yeah.
I mean the wagon.
They have cars in Middle Earth.
Well, they were about to. I left my keys in my horse. I'm sorry, officer.
You begin to examine the lock, and you can see that the cuff around his ankle has begun to basically scrape away a lot of the skin. It's become blistered and basically scabbed up at this point. But he doesn't seem to notice any pain. And as you reach down to try to lockpick, you have to coax him to standing still as he is still hard at work. He eventually stops as he continues to grab basically a head of cabbage, and he begins chopping this as you begin lockpicking. He doesn't even question what you're doing. And with that, you take your hairpin and you begin to start to feel if you can undo this lock. But it doesn't go in further than maybe a millimeter or 2. There's something that is blocking the exit. You look at it and you examine, and it doesn't look any different than any of the locks that you would probably put on your chests to keep your valuables back in the Shire. So you're unsure of why this is. I'm gonna have you make a traditions check for me.
Okay. Oh boy, I'm not good at traditions. that's pretty good. 16.
16. This clearly isn't the iron lock that you are used to seeing and that you are used to lock picking. In fact, this looks to be made out of honed steel, and it looks old. This is something that is probably of a pretty cunning make, but it does look to be crafted by the race of men, from what you can tell. It's not a lock made by elves, dwarves, or those of the Shire hobbits. And as you begin fiddling around with the lock, your pin breaks.
Just how are we going in there?
Not good. My pin broke.
Do you not have another?
Do I have another one?
In your thieves' tools, is there like stacks? I don't know how that works in D&D.
Let me see.
If just for the sake that's like you can't pick look this anyway, even if you're like it's not helping.
I mean, you could
What's
continue to keep trying. I think of it like Baldur's Gate. Every time it's like, unfortunately, in this you can't reload your save.
Wait, do I have one?
Okay, thieves' tools. I just take a look at it. It looks like it's just a.
There we go.
Yeah, just like a quantity of.
Yeah.
Wood. So.
Yeah.
You no longer have thieves' tools anymore.
Cool. Just gotta go buy some new hair equipment at the, some hair care stuff at the next town.
That's so rude.
We'll ask a blacksmith to make us a very strong
Like a
hairpin.
Hairpin? Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. What issues
Damn.
are you having? He said it's. What's wrong?
It broke.
Okay, then I guess we smash the chain. Okay.
Fine.
Feanor's gonna start rifling through his pack looking for things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna move to hang on, the cave entrance to keep a lookout for if anyone's gonna come.
Feanor's gonna go up there. Actually, this would be a good time actually to for anyone who is exhausted, we were gonna eat those honey cakes so that we are no longer.
I would
from
like a honey
exhaustion.
cake, please.
Yes. So you can take one of those, and Theodric isn't exhausted. Is that
He
what?
is not. Yeah, he's doing pretty.
So,
good.
yep. So I will remove those two. But I'm going to come up and I'm going to get my belt dagger and I'm going to loop it through one of the links, and then I'm going to rest it on the ground, and then I'm going to use my weight to pull two of the links apart, more or less like this, to try and use my full weight to snap the links themselves apart. Because if this lock's not coming undone, no guarantee the chains is of the best quality. So
Right. So as you do this, you're kind of using the leverage to your advantage here. So I will allow you to make an athletics check with advantage to do so.
okay. An 18.
18. Yeah, you take this belt dagger and you wedge it in a probably as you examine this chain, probably the most recent welding spot that this chain was done, and you begin to leverage your way. At first, it doesn't seem to budge at all, but as you begin more and more and more, you begin to feel some kind of well, not necessarily feel, but hear. And your belt dagger snaps in half.
Oh, that's not great. Just what was wrong with this? You said that the key is it said something about the lock.
Yeah, it's not iron, it's steel, which is
I have a bad feeling that we need to find who's got this key. Or else we're not getting him out of here.
You don't need to go searching these entire goblin caves. I know exactly who has this. The goblin chief has this. Oh, he's mean.
Okay,
He's big.
that
I think he's gonna eat me.
complicates things. Might be
Jess, I'm
best.
gonna have you make a stealth check for me.
okay. Nine.
9. You're able to slip into the shadows as you look up the corridor. You see two larger figures, and their voices are much deeper than the goblins who just recently came. They don't seem to be moving anywhere closer to you, but you hear a shrill, high-pitched voice talking to a kind of a lower-pitched, gruff voice, although you are unable to make out exactly what they are saying. But you can tell, you can see that there's torch reflection that has kind of recently just come into view, basically on this wall.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go back into this room here and single to the others to hide.
Cool. Fainal's gonna hop in that corner, the top right corner of the cave, and try and hide behind what shadows there are.
Theodric and Jess, where are the two of you going to be?
Just these boxes here will be fine.
Okay.
And Theodric's gonna try and see if he can shimmy further in to here.
I'm gonna have all of you make stealth checks for me.
Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Yeah,
Yes.
we got you. We got you.
Cool.
A
Glad to have you here.
17 on myself.
I tell
Dirty
you,
20.
I've had a bad day.
Aw, I'm so
19.
sorry, bud.
Well, that's a very
19.
good first roll.
That's the first bit of good luck I've had all day.
Yes!
Ooh.
Bringing it back.
Hopefully,
If real life were D&D, I've been rolling at disadvantage all day.
5 levels of exhaustion.
It
Well,
feels like it.
We're happy you here.
At
Hopefully, this day doesn't get even worse.
I tell ya, I woke up with a cramp in my leg. I rubbed it down with some icy hot, and then I forgot it was on my hands and got that in my eyes. Yeah, icy hot to the eyes isn't fun.
You have
So I went and had a shower to wash it out, and got soap in my other eye. The one that hadn't got icy hot in it, got soap in it. So that was bad. And then I fell out of the shower.
Oh,
I fell out. I must have broken a mirror or something. It was just been bad luck all day.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
let's hope you get a streak of good luck that just lasts you. And you were saving it
Indeed.
up.
You used up
You
all
were
your
saving
bad
it
luck.
Yeah.
My
Right?
goodness.
And with that
That's
19,
what I'm hoping this
that's good
19
luck.
means.
Yes. Jess, what was yours?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah, all of you are able to very skillfully hide behind some of these barrels and crates. And you do so, and it takes a moment, and one goblin comes in. This time you can see only one. No larger creatures as he makes his way over to the pot that's on that's boiling with the potatoes.
What's this, hobbits?
What's this? And he gives it a smell.
Smells weird. Why are you trying to poison us?
And he's like, no, it's potato stew. I see these would go good with some chips. I just fried these. And the goblin, he takes one look at it and he goes,
Chips.
and it's nice and crunchy.
More of that. I don't want any more of that mush. Yes.
And then he goes calling back up the hall.
Chipses? What? He's making chipses.
And he leaves.
Okay, so we're in a bad situation. My belt dagger just snapped in half trying to break that chain. Is there any way for us to... Dindy, you said that you've seen this Goblin King.
Yes.
Where is he? Is this the only place you've been? No. How do we get to him?
I don't know. All I know is that they come up and down the halls. They escorted me down these wicked passageways, and they said if I cooked good, I can sleep one night in one of their holes. Stinky, nasty places. Ugh. But that's neither here nor there. When I first came...
Can I look? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Andrew.
No.
Can I look at where the chain is actually mounted to the wall to see if maybe we can pull it out?
Doing everything but finding the key for this.
I really don't want to find the key.
No, look, it makes sense. Exhaust all other options before you go fight a goblin king.
That's not good.
Yeah,
When I suggest cutting Dindy's leg off, I'm
Yeah,
going to
I was about to say, if it comes down to it, we attempt to grease him up first, and if he won't come out, then it's leg gone.
Jess, you investigate this chain and you follow all the way back to this back wall, and as you do so, you see that there are a number of piles of bones. This is one of 4 chains that are tied into this wall, and these bones look like they have fresh goblin teeth marks into it. I'm gonna have you make an investigation check.
Yeah, I'm doing my best to not think about that too hard. Investigation. That's decent. 13.
Doing your best to ignore the bones and everything that are all around, you see that this is bolted into the wall. You can tell that there are steel spikes that have also been driven into basically the 4 corners of this latch, and it has this circular ring that the chain has been welded to.
Cool.
You can attempt to try to most likely brute force it, but seeing the options that you've done so far, this does look decently strong.
And while we may be able to brute force it, none of that's going to be quiet.
Feanor, I'm going to have you make an investigation check for me.
I mean, I could try and get the key, but I don't want to dress up like a goblin.
A 12.
12. You examine this chain further. During your travels, you have become pretty familiar with the works of man-made crafts, especially when it comes to things that you aren't quite so keen on crafting yourself. So not wood, but metals and stonework and whatnot. And you notice that most of the works of men, particularly at the dawning of the Third Age, were very, very well crafted. For some reason, during that period of history, men really started to craft better weapons, better shields, better armor, to better fight the enemy with. But with that came better chains and things like that. In order to break this chain, you would need either proper tools such as some kind of bolt cutters, or on the other hand, if you want to break this chain, it would just kind of off the top of your head take probably a group of like 4 dwarves, no more than like 5 or 6 hours to break through it with whatever that they could. This thing is hard, and very, very well crafted. This is clearly not goblin make. This was looted from somewhere and brought in here.
Look, with how this is, the only way to get him off that wall without getting the key is to bring in some picks and just mine the stone that's attached to him. You know, like, that's attached to the chain. Like, as it is, we're going to have to try and probably go deeper and find this key.
Okay.
Or, Feanor gives a little look to Theodric. Guess there's one other option. No, it's best to get the key. Wouldn't want to do that to someone.
What's the other option?
No, it's fine. It's a little unorthodox, but probably not the safest.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it.
Yeah. No, like we've definitely had this conversation
Oh, yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Like about like what would you do if you were stuck in a thing chained to a wall? Well, I'd just cut my legs
So,
off.
Middle Earth version.
Middle Earth version of 36 hours.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I was watching this major image called Saw.
It's not a bathroom, but it's a kitchen, kind of similar.
Okay, best thing to do is probably to raise an alarm somewhere that isn't here. Draw away many of the guards, many of the orcs and goblins away, and try and fight through who we can to get to this king. Hopefully stealthily, but if we're unable to, kill him and take the key. It's that easy. Yep, it's gonna be that easy.
Okay.
Who volunteers to go sneaking around in the dark to find a different alarm somewhere? Unless we have some other idea. Yes, Jess.
I could try and just lift the key off him. It's
I
risky.
just don't know how you're going to get close enough without him noticing.
Yeah. Oh well, if you hear alarm bells, that's probably me. Can I look around this room to see if there's like any goblin garb that would like kind of fit me?
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception or investigation check for me.
But
It's gonna be
with what you said about the alarms, Faina was actually going to go over to... where was the alarm earlier that she disassembled?
Way back
she,
up,
like-
close to like the front entrance, where this one is essentially.
Faina's going to go back there and get the pieces of the broken... of like the cut rope and everything, and he's going to give them to Jess and say, if you're in a really bad situation, like with the bell upside down, put this in here and shake it and ring the alarm. Yes, it'll alert all them, but then we can cause as much of a distraction as possible. And if need be, retreat and drag as many of them out with us.
okay.
These
All right,
bells, so a little extra about these bells. They're probably the size of like the fist. It's not like a small little bell. They're probably about the size of a fist, and the contraptions are very rudimentary. They're essentially like these like kind of slapped together wooden frames with like a rope that hangs down with a bell. So literally, it's just supposed to. They take the rope and do this. That's essentially the system. So
That's what I was hoping it was, and like being able to just hand in one hand the actual bell, and the other hand the what is the thing inside of a bell that rings it? Anyway, but being like, if you need us, just set off an alarm. If an alarm goes off anyway, we'll do what we can. If you have to, hide.
I mean, hiding is going to be the better option. I will take a look to see how close to the Goblin King I can get, and then Plan B will be setting off an alarm somewhere else.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thanks.
Don't die.
yes, perception.
Yeah, no, it's good. Perception was a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah, there are a number of scraps around here that you could easily cobble together something that would be goblin-like. There's enough dead bodies. Unfortunately for them, it looks like they also eat each other. And so some of the corpses and bodies that are here are goblin, and whatever like discarded armor has just been tossed to the side. So, yeah, you're able to find some stuff to be able to fit you to kind of disguise yourself. So,
Yeah, perfect. I'm gonna give Theodric my dress to carry.
Okay, you're also probably not going to like this, but it might be best if we smear you with some of that really gross stuff.
Nope. And I just walk off.
Well,
Even
there she
I have
goes.
standards.
There she goes, still smelling like berries and flowers.
Just want to just double checking. You're talking about that stuff that made you wretch and take 2 points of necrotic damage. Yes,
Potentially not that.
just from approaching it. Yeah.
Hopefully, my thought was to make her at least smell unappealing enough that people kind of give her a wide berth.
You
but
wanted to dunk our hobbit in that.
Want is a strong word. But Theodric, stay there. Dindy, what can I do to help you very quick? If I can help you keep pumping out as
come
much
over
food
here,
as possible.
over there, and he points to like the back barrel. There's cheese over there. I think cheese will tide them over for a little bit. Oh, and then he points over to Theodric. You're good with the sword, means you're good with the knife. Come here. I need your help, please.
I mean, that's a leap in logic, but sure.
And he's going to set the two of you to work.
We're about to meet the Hobbit version of Gordon Ramsay.
I will say I say to all the three of us, Dindy, we're going to keep your work going at slightly faster than what you have been doing, but not so much that sets a new standard for them. We want to buy as much time, and if we go through all these supplies, Jess is as good as dead, and we're as good as dead.
Yes, thank you. You're lifesavers. You have no idea. Anyways, where's that cheese? Over there. I can't reach it.
Yeah.
This chain won't let me go far enough.
Yeah, he grabs it. Yeah, Fainar's just like,
And you.
we're put to work.
He points over to you, Theodric. You. Over there. There's a roll of sausages. Oh, sausage I wanted. Don't eat any. They're ravenous. They're gonna eat it all. Grab 3 links of that. Bring it over here. And he begins calling orders as he's just like working on his own thing.
As we're cutting up and cooking things, just this can be happening later. Fëanor is going to feed little bit by little bit to Dain. It's like, you need strength to cook. If you don't cook, you die. You need to eat for strength. Have some it's just be like the edge of a bit of cheese, a little bit of bread, like just literally little nibbles while he's working. I know I'm not going to get him to stop.
This is unsanitary, but okay, I will accept it.
They're goblins. They literally eat each other.
I've been trying to stay away from that barrel the whole time. It stinks. As he continues doing his thing. Jess, you continue down the hallway, and as you turn the corner, you see that there is a torch that is lit right here, completely illuminating these 2 quarters, and you see that there are 2 orcs that are standing guard.
I will let you know, Kyle. On the stream, you can't really see.
Oh.
Where Jess is and stuff.
Oh yeah, the map needs to be moved over.
No, it's fine. I just thought that's what you should know now, so that
I appreciate
you kind of dragged over.
Look at Nick looking out for you.
I appreciate it.
Yep. Now
Okay,
I'm
sweet.
just good like that.
Doing your things. So in the meantime, Theodric and Fëanor, I'm gonna have the 2 of you make either survival for me or just a straight wisdom check for me as you are helping. Anyways, so you walk your way up to the 2 orc guards, and they take one look at you and says,
Where'd you come from?
I gesture vaguely. That away.
We didn't see you come by this way. There's no other
No,
way
'cause
out.
I came from that away.
make a perception check for me.
I will add, is Jess not wearing Ubherz's helmet?
Oh yeah, I am wearing the
So
helmet.
you can spin some yarn about that.
Oh no, it's fine. I'm wearing the helmet. 19 for perception.
19. These 2 guards don't seem to be drinking, but they look slightly sloshed. They're not full out drunk, but they're a little tipsy, that's for sure. Not nearly as much as the other guards. But they see you, and they're just like, that direction?
Yeah,
The lot
that
of you
way.
came back. The lot of you came back hours ago.
And on me, I came from that way. Stop laughing! I'll stop laughing.
They point this one over here. He points directly behind him to his left. So he's facing you. He points to his left.
Mm.
Well, the feast awaits you, I guess.
I'm gonna have
Yeah,
you
cheers.
make a perception or a deception check.
It's funny. Okay. Don't fail me now. Oopsie.
Roll a d16.
I'm gonna roll a d16.
I've already put it in the chat.
Oh, you've already put it. Roll it.
Please,
Let me roll a d16.
we can't fail so close to the start.
5.
5, no.
Okay.
That's okay. I rolled a 6
6.
for deception.
The other one that's on the far end says,
Wait a minute. What's
Wow.
that you got on your head? That looks like Lord Upherz's. Where'd you get that?
Sorry, did you want it? I got it from. I got it from his corpse. It didn't look like he was using it no more. So.
Did you loot Upherz's corpse?
Is there?
I've known him since we were lads. This has been a tough blow. Ever since his death. I don't want to serve no
What?
goblin king, but what other choice do we have? And now, goblins such as you are picking up the remnants from our lord. Hand it over. Now!
Well, hang on. You're not letting me tell my story here. I was captured by those blokes back there. That's why I took them off. I took the helmet off their corpse. It's mine by rights.
make a persuasion.
If you want persuasion.
Persuasion.
Don't challenge a orc to a fight for the helmet. Please.
Would it be persuasion or deception?
Either or, whichever one you want to do.
Oh, they're both the same.
Uh,
Better, 17.
cool. You killed the people who killed Ubers. That's
Yeah, exactly. Like, I killed the people who killed your boss. So, does that make me your boss? Either
No, that
way,
doesn't
if you
make
want
you
the
my
helmet,
boss.
you might have to go through the Goblin King to get it.
Fine, you keep it for now. As soon as we are able to, you try to find jobs somewhere else. But for now,
Yeah, it seems...
we eat hearty.
Yeah.
At least we can reap what we've sowed. The fact that we've survived till this far, there's something to celebrate. But
Yeah,
I've
I
got
gotta
my
be
eyes
honest.
on you.
Well, seems like you're not cut out to work here if you can't stand goblin looting. Just like under my breath as I move past.
And you hear them talking in low voices, just general orc grumbling.
Oh, that filthy rat trash. Skulking around in the dark, man. They don't fight fair.
And
Nope,
you start
not at all.
making your way down into this area. And it is actually pretty dark in this area, as it were. But I'm going to have you make a perception check as you look around.
Okay, I do have dark vision, if that helps.
Just normal then.
Perception. 9.
This is quite clearly a goblin smithy. Basically weapons and armor and everything that is crafted here look to be very much of goblin make, and there's no fire currently burning in the forge, but you could tell that a bunch of basically weapons and gear has just been thrown about as if goblins or coming back just took their stuff off and just chucked it in the instead of storing it away as they should. But they basically just chucked all of their gear off into
Perfect.
basically the side here.
Can I find a more generic goblin helmet?
A more generic goblin helmet? Yes, absolutely. That would be actually relatively easy without even making any checks. There's a number of options to be able to choose from. But however, as you are looking about and investigating, I will have you either make a wisdom or investigation check for me. Or,
Just straight wisdom?
Just straight wisdom. Or no, perception. I think perception.
Yeah,
probably makes more
okay.
sense. Yep. Perception or investigation.
5 for perception.
Okay. Yeah, to be honest, there's not a whole lot that would be worth taking here. You can tell they haven't looted bodies of many other warriors. Most likely they just target traders, and so the weapons that they have are basically goblin made. So you can go ahead and pick up any of basically goblin scimitars or daggers that you want if you want to blend in a little bit more. You have basically the strips of goblin armor that you're wearing. It's very akin to the stuff that they have. But yeah, you can go ahead and swap out the helmet too if you wish to do so.
Okay, yeah, I swap out the helmet. And then, yeah, I like my daggers, so I'm gonna keep those. Let me see, how many? Oh, arrows. Can I find like 9 or so more arrows?
Make an investigation check for me.
Okay, perfect.
This is with this being a smithy, you can see that the vast majority of the work here is done is ironwork. However, that doesn't disclude arrows. You have noticed that they did use arrows in the fight, so they probably come from somewhere.
Yeah, 12.
12. You are really unable to find others other than goblin arrows, and essentially a goblin arrow is going to give you a -1 to the basically attack roll if you're using it. They're not very well made, not very straight, but you can still use them. They're good. I mean, not good, but they're goblin arrows to be able to. You can find around 10 of these.
All right. I'll just mark those separately, I guess.
Cool. And let's go ahead and make our way back up to Theodric and Feanor. So what were your wisdom or survival rolls?
Gotta check back. An 18.
18. Okay.
I got a 7.
Yeah, you don't really know your way too well around a kitchen, Theodric. However, you are able to help him to a degree. You can tell that he's getting a little impatient with your searching, as he tells you, as he not really barking orders at you, but hurriedly is just like, "No, it's in there. Move that crate. It's under there." And he's it's a little bit bossy. Not quite Gordon Ramsay, but it's a little bit bossy as he's doing that. But you follow your nose, Feanor, and you find that cheese. You begin to think of some of the recipes from back home growing up, and some of the basically lavish elvish feasts. One of them in particular is a melted cheese fondue. That starts to come to your mind, and so you just start boiling and cooking on your own. You find pieces of bread, you take some apple and chop that up, and you make a nice charcuterie board. And Dindy doesn't seem to be paying you much attention other than nods of, yes, that'll do. In the background.
For flavor, because they're goblins, he's making each of the like things on the board like 5 times larger than you're supposed to. Like, he's still making nice food, but like every bit of meat instead of like a little thin slither is like a decent hunk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doing whatever he can to keep Dindy in their good graces.
Mhm.
Who knew that this is what this session was going to turn into? Master Chef in Middle Earth.
Absolutely. Theodric, I'm going to have you make a investigation or perception check for me.
Oh. 4.
4. You have started working in this general direction back here up top as you search some of these crates and you move them aside looking for the sausages that Dindy asked you to grab him, and you move aside one of the barrels and you see a half-eaten corpse. This is one of the Beornings.
Oh.
It is basically from the waist down is basically just like bones that are sticking out the bottom, and there are bite marks. He has bled out probably days ago, and there are again flies that have started crawling on him. Upon further investigation, this is anew, the Beorning.
Oh, well, it's not sausages, but I found, anew.
Say it is the truth. Dindy rushes over to this.
No,
barrel.
you
It's just
stay
like,
over there, Dindy.
Tea and crumpets.
Keep
Yeah,
working.
tea
It's
and
okay.
crumpets. Oh, poor guy.
Nothing we can do for him now.
Can I roll a perception check to see if there's any place I could put him respectfully? Like, just right now?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
A 17.
Not time for that.
17. His wrist is shackled to the wall in very much the same fashion as Dindy's is. You could remove his hand or his arm in order to move him, but you would have to do that to do so.
I'm just kind of gonna I'm gonna slide the crate back in front of where he was.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like.
I'm gonna have you make a wisdom saving throw for me, Theodric.
Okay.
Does he have any personal effects that we could give to? Who's the Beorning who we were traveling? Yeah, any personal effects we might be able to give to Igor?
Theodric, wisdom save.
11.
11. You take one look at him, and it's quite disturbing, but you've actually seen worse before. You do move the crate behind. You do not gain any points of shadow from this. Feanor, as you start to think about that, you call out to Theodric as you're making this fondue. Theodric, I'm going to have you make an investigation check to see if you can find anything to potentially from him or around him that you could give back to Igor.
15.
15. You do. You find a number of things. There's actually one specifically actually an intricate-looking. You don't know what it is, to be quite honest. It looks to be a little kind of a brass mechanism to a degree. but it's got this kind of like a rune sketched into the front of it, almost like a locket per se. It doesn't open. It's basically just like a brass like circle. You're able to find that and take it off. You can go ahead and add to your inventory a runic necklace. And then also in laying on the ground next to him is a cockle shell that you can pick up as well. Jess, back to you. So as you scurry through and you find basically this helmet and you put it back on, you are faced with two different directions. There is immediately to your left, as basically you're facing downwards in this direction. To your left, there is what sounds to be a number of voices coming from this direction, and down to your right, it is dark. You don't hear really anything other than like the shifting of rock every now and then, typical cavern noises.
Okay. If I look at my like mini map that I got ages ago, does the passages line up?
They look familiar. I'm gonna have you make a sleight of hand check for me.
Okay. 18.
Using the information. Yeah, thank you so much for the follow. That was perfect. Zelda unlocking music. With that, you from the information that you got from Grick before and the opening entrance, this seems to line up exactly. However, with the map that you do have, it was torn right below this mark here. You do have a pathway that goes down here to what looks to be a large open room, largest of all of the rooms on your map. You do also see that down stretching in the southward direction here, there are two smaller rooms that have big X's through them.
Okay.
You feel like you can trust this. This seems to line
Yeah.
up.
All right. Yeah. I'll go down here towards the bigger cavern then.
Yeah, you do so, and it grows lighter and lighter as you eventually begin to descend, probably about a solid 20-25 feet down further into the earth, down this basically these cavern stairwells, and opened up before you is a giant feast hall. There's a long couple of tables that extend the length of it, and there are easily 40 goblins that are sitting around this table. All of them look differently. Basically, they're all feasting on the food that Dindy is providing them, and they look a mixture of drunk, ravenous, hungry, and sitting at the far south end on a large chair is a very large goblin, tall in stature and very broad. He is basically sitting on this makeshift throne of what looks to be bones, and he has basically just to his right a very small goblin that basically is his cupbearer holding a cup for him as he reaches down and he drinks, and this red wine spills down his face, and he says,
"Ah, you're here at the Goblin Feast. Come, Grick, we missed ya."
Okay. I'm gonna do my best to impersonate Grick's voice.
Okay.
As best I can. And just a little bit panicked, but trying to play it cool. Just be like, "Oh yeah, King! Damn it. No, I don't say that. I feel silly.
If I can interrupt,
I will just say, "Yeah, all hail the Goblin King! The outsiders have been slain. Cheers!" And I grab a cup from somewhere and I just raise it.
All right, perfect. Yeah, you wander over to the table, and you're able to find a little bit of... Where did you?
Can I sit as close to the king as I can?
Yeah, there's one open seat at one of the tables up close to the front here.
Yeah, perfect.
You do sit down and you take a look at the just disgusting. I mean, it's delicious food, but it has just been torn apart and there's like pieces all over.
Yeah.
The plate that you have in front of you has scraps. It looks like someone has actually eaten off of this and is either leftovers or they're waiting to eat more. Yes, Dom, what did you want to say?
I'm sorry to do. I'm exhausted. Like, I think I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm just fighting to stay awake right now.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
worries, no
been there.
worries. You have a good one. I will see you at the new year.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you for stopping by. I know it's tough, but you
Yeah.
get better. Hopefully your days become
Sorry about
much better
that.
too. Not
Yeah, all good, buddy. Happy
Any
holiday.
tips for what Theodric's gonna do while in your absence?
He's mostly just good at smashing things, so he's just gonna
Comes-
follow everyone else's lead when it comes to the subtle stuff.
perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Master.
Okay, hope you all have a good Christmas.
You
Yeah,
too.
you too.
I'll catch you
Yeah.
all later.
See ya.
Drive
Rest up.
safe if you're driving.
Bye.
Bye. All right, and with that, I guess that gave me some time to unflip all of these guys. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Goblins all over the friggin' place here. And
Yeah.
you see this
My
large
lord.
goblin. Yeah, they're all over the friggin' place. You see this large goblin that's sitting up at the front, and his cupbearer is right here. Jess, you make your way over to the table. What do you do?
I'm just gonna like take a minute to like try and blend in, try and like, adjust myself to the surroundings. And I want to like take particularly a note of how people interact with the king. Like, are they going up to him at all, bowing down, like offering him the best meats and stuff like that? Like, I wanna read the vibe of the room.
Make at first, as you attempts to blending, I have you first make a deception check for me.
Okay.
As you sit down and you look side to side to see what's going on here. What's the goblinly way to act?
Yeah. 12 for deception.
12. With that, you're able to blend right in. All you have to do is just not even care about any goblin that's around you. Just look at your food and reach out and basically like tear things up. You don't necessarily have to eat it per se, but yeah, you can just look. Basically, you can tell that these goblins are very busy doing their thing, and so you can actually do that and be able to look around without actually too much notice of it. And with that, I'm going to have you make a perception check, and this will be at advantage.
Okay, perfect. Wait, advantage, not disadvantage.
Yes, at advantage.
Important to know. Still only a 9, unfortunately.
All these goblins are deferring to the king. Any piece of like really good meat, they might try to sneak a bite at it, but basically it's being passed down to the table. Like if something tastes really good, a goblin's like, "Ah, my lord, this tastes good!" And then they like throw it down, basically pass it down the line, and there's this huge plate that the Goblin King he grabs it. He's technically not a king, I guess chieftain, but he takes it and just like starts eating. Like the entire like skewer that got brought earlier has completely been dug into, and with that, you notice that a couple goblins at the back, they said, "Yeah, more food, and another one at the end is like, "Oh, I'll get the wine," and they start to make their way up in these directions.
Cool.
Okay. And with that, you do notice that they are deferring to the king when it comes to all the good food. However, they are not necessarily going up and interacting with him at all. However, you do see that there are also 2 orcs that block this back corridor as well. These ones seem to be decently guarded, and they are wearing the same general kind of uniform get-up as Ubhurs. You can tell that these are Ubhurs.
Welcome home, good hunter.
Yeah. Awesome.
What is it you desire?
Can I like not sneak, but just like move closer to the king so I can like try and talk to him one-on-one, or is he just like so absorbed in his food?
He's pretty absorbed in his food, but you get up and you back up from the table, and nobody actually raises a hand or head to stop you from doing so. So you can approach if you want to do so.
Okay.
You do also have something of value that you could give the king.
What, the helm? The helm.
Yes. What king isn't going to like a token of showing that he's better than these orcs? Like, if you literally give him the helm of their leader, he's going to be like, look, I'm even better than your leader. Like, his helm is just a trinket on my belt. You know, like, you have something that you could give to him and perhaps gain a seat right next to him, because you'll get a bite of all the really good food. Like, makes sense as a goblin.
Are you really trying to get me involved in goblin politics right now?
Well, yeah, maybe. You're also in the most danger there. But...
I am, yes. Thank you for the reminder, though. Okay, I'm just gonna, like...
I just wanted to return the favor.
I'm just gonna go, like, up to the king and, like, take a knee if, like, I feel like that's something that people would do.
Yeah,
Or,
Grick.
yeah,
So
like-
so as you make your way up as Grick, the cupbearer holding the cup like this looks at you and sees that you take a knee, and he looks back and forth like, and he goes on both knees lower, and the goblin chieftain, he looks down and is like,
Hey, stand up, you! I want more of that.
you, and he points to this goblin at the back.
Go tell them to get the wine. The good barrel.
And
Yes, of course.
and he goes back in this direction with the other goblin that was back there. But he says he doesn't even notice that you have bowed down to him, kind of below his field of view.
I stand up kind of sheepishly, look around to see if anyone noticed, and then just, like, insert myself into a thing, and I'll just go, like, my chief!
He looks to you and says,
Grick. Just in time. You've helped us quite a bit when it comes to this. I know your scouting is... well, in times like these, we appreciate your hard work. That's really good coming from me.
and all the goblins are like,
Wow, he complimented Grick. Oh my goodness.
and they're like all very impressed with you, Grick.
I'm just like, the heck did Grick do?
Rick has been like employee of the month.
He stands up, and basically there's this creaking from the bones of like his throne, and he looks to all of you and says,
Now that we've got Grick here,
and he takes one more swig of his wine and just continues to flow down his face.
now that we've got Grick here, I propose a toast. A toast to all of us.
And he looks to you and he offers you basically a cheers, and he says,
All right, calm down, you rotty bunch of goblins. Welcome to the Grand Goblin Feast. And every day we get halfling prancing on our doorstep, eh?
and he goes ahead and he nudges you with his elbow, to which it knocks you completely aside. I'm gonna have you make an acrobatics check for me as he.
Okay,
as
yeah.
He does so.
Hang on. Where's my acrobatics? It's right at the top. There we go. Dirty 20.
You're able to stabilize yourself, and you look back at everybody, and he has stopped even looking at you, and he's just addressing the entire crowd.
And let me tell ya, the rumors don't lie. This food's so good. It'd make you dance a jig while munching.
And all the goblins are like all just having a jolly good time.
Each and every one of yous deserve a bellyful tonight, cause come sunrise, we'll be having ourselves some Hobbit pudding.
And he takes his goblet and he cheered it basically in the air, and some of it flows over the top, and the other goblin, he goes and he grabs another goblet from the table from this one. And he basically double fists it, and he has another one raised up.
Tubbers, the hero of tonight's feast, bless his untimely demise, cuz it's turned in our luck around. His death means we keep our wealth.
And he points back up this hallway.
I look. I fully like turn my head to look down the cavern.
You see that there are stairs that rise up into the darkness.
Because it means that we keep our wealth while still enjoying the fruits of his labor. Here's to the goblins.
And he points over to these orcs.
And to the orcs. All of us to enjoy this lip-smacking meal, many of whom will also fill our bellies tonight.
And you can see that on the table there are probably a good amount of chopped up, mostly probably goblin meat, maybe some orc meat on the table as well. It's pretty gross. And then he pauses for a moment, and his bottom lip begins to quiver. And tears begin to well up in his eyes and stream down his cheeks. And he hiccups.
And to me, the most conniving, twisted, and cunning goblin under the misty mountains.
And he reaches down and he picks up the cupbearer, and he takes him and he blows his nose into the cupbearer's chest piece. And
Quick, grab the cup. Grab the cup before it drops.
I am just like aghast.
he sets the goblin down. The cup clinks to the floor and spills. He sets the goblin down, and the cupbearer, he reaches up and he puts his hand like on like the hand of the goblin, and then like realizes what he's doing, and he's like, but at this point the goblin chieftain, he's sobbing.
How far we've come. Look at how far we've come. Cheers to the one who made it all possible.
And he raises a toast amidst the snivels. To you, Grick.
Do I notice
to
that
everybody.
the other goblins have come back yet? The ones who went for the wine and the food?
They have not come back yet.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna wait till they come back.
Okay.
And then I'm going to unleash my plan.
Okay.
If they come back.
If they come back.
I'm sure that's what Kyle's waiting for.
Well!
Look at that smile on his face. He knows what he's doing.
Here's to a night of feasting fit for kings, or, well, fit for goblins. Let's make merry till the morning. Cheers! My horrible goblin family.
Blah, and he begins just like downing this, and he grabs another cup from off the table, and he goes. He is starting to he gets a little bit off balance as he sits back in his chair. Says, and
How drunk is this guy?
Make an insight check.
Okay. Like, I know you said that the guy, like, withdrew his hand immediately as he realized that he touched the Goblin King, but, like, if I look at them, I'm thinking, in this state, would he even notice? So that's sort of what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
16 for that one.
Oh, bless you. 16. He looks pretty drunk. He's drunk and teary-eyed, that's for sure. Misty-eyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
All these goblins, you get the general impression that all of the goblins are here to celebrate. They're here without a care in the world. There doesn't seem to be any suspicion or anything in the air. They are ravenous. However, I'm gonna have you make a perception check for me.
Okay. Dirty 20.
The orcs, on the other hand, are not so jolly. You look directly back behind, and you see the two orcs, shield and spear in hand, and they're rolling their eyes, but they're also smacking their lips too as they see all of this food getting consumed, and they are essentially standing guard.
If there's one thing a Sackville knows, it's how to sow division.
And with that, we're gonna make our way back up to Feanor and up at the top here. And so as you continue to cook food, I'm gonna have you make a perception check for me.
Okay, let's go. Let's hope. goes a 16.
16. You begin to hear two very feisty goblins making their way up the hall, and they are laughing and they are calling out tauntingly to Dindy.
More food, more like the last. In our bellies, in it goes. Go, go, go.
And they go over and you see them appear like up the hall, and they're just like jolly, like kind of like stumbling around.
Yeah.
They don't seem to be menacing at all until they catch sight of Dindy, to which they make their way over. What are you doing before they come at the hall? You notice them,
yeah,
for sure. They're very obvious.
Theodric would hide. Theodric and Fëanor would hide. This is part of our plan of we help him when they approach, we hide, they can take as much food, buy as much time as possible. So we would just be kind of hiding in the same spots we were before. Probably weapons drawn for if need be, to catch these things by surprise.
Perfect. Go ahead and make a stealth check. I can make a stealth check for Theodric. I just pulled up his character sheet.
I got a 21.
Pretty stealthy. I don't think they're going to notice you. But let's see Theodric on the other hand. An 18. Yeah, the two of you are able to blend into the shadows seamlessly as you see these goblins come up, and they look over at the platter, specifically Fëanor, that you had made. They're like,
What's this?
and they smell.
Oh, it's smelly. What is this?
And they look over to Dindy, and Dindy, he cheese?
Thought so. Take it all.
And they begin just like pulling like the entire charcuterie board, and like it just like the chunks of meat start falling off, and they don't even notice. They go over to what Dindy was preparing, some kind of salad, and they're just like,
Ugh.
and they just like toss it on the floor.
No vegetables. Ugh.
And they begin making their way back up the in this. They are satisfied for now, unless you want to do anything.
No. For now, we're letting them go, and look, we're just trying to keep Dindy being as valuable as possible, for as long as possible.
So you do so.
So we would just go back to helping him prepare the next dish.
Jess, what is your plan? Making our way back to you at the goblin feast.
Alright, so these goblins come in with all these food, and I'm thinking, right, this is the food that they have brought.
Yeah, and without much time, these come with the fondue charcuterie board, and this one actually walks it up to the goblin chief and goes,
Chief, it's cheese.
and he goes, and slams it down. He's like,
What we do with this?
and he takes a piece of bread,
Ugh.
and he begins dipping it in the cheese, and he pops it in his mouth.
Stinky. I like it. Tell him to make more of this.
Jess, what are you doing?
Okay, like, as he's enjoying, like, this cheese, this would be easier for me if he hated it. I am gonna, like, tell him, I wonder, my chief, that you don't go and collect the food yourself. Like, clearly these people can't be trusted. I gave the orcs a whole horse leg to give to that hobbit to prepare something. I haven't seen it yet. Like,
You're right. I've seen no horse meat. Ooh, I could do for a good nag.
we should probably go investigate this ourselves.
I'm going nowhere.
You know, and I'll lower my voice at this point so like only you can hear me. You know, some of these orcs looking mighty suspicious. I think they want to eat us before we can eat them.
You think?
And he looks back.
I do.
Make a deception check for me.
This is so wild. 18.
Oh, just roll tonight.
It's been so hit or miss with me tonight.
Oh.
It's been crazy.
He looks
This is
back
your
to you.
this is your moment, like Feanor going through the woods with the
This
spiders.
is my element, babe.
Yeah, this is just gliding through it.
Yeah.
He looks back to you and he says,
This is why you're one of my trusted scouts, Quick. You've got an eye for these things.
and he sees and he looks at the two orcs.
I like myself some nag, but I like myself some orc. And I do not intend to filling their belly.
And he thinks it just, he all of a sudden, like, out of, like, his super, he goes,
Quick.
and he panic look, like, immediately, like, fills his face.
What?
I left some of them guarding my chambers. Do you think they're stealing the loot? Do you think they'll take it for themselves? I will not stand for this!
And he stands up, and as he does so, he wobbles back and he falls down into his chair. All the goblins are like,
More drink! More drink!
and as they do so, you see that, like, rolling out one of the barrels, two of these goblins come back in with a unopened barrel of wine as they're just kind of rolling it in.
My chief, you know you can trust me.
Yes, you returned here. You did a good goblin's job. If anything, I added uppers to the toast just to appease them. Come morning.
You shouldn't have to do that, chief. You're way better than him.
Yes. Yes, I'm way better
And
than
smarter
him.
and cleverer.
Yes. Clever and cunning and...
You're not gonna let those orcs eat you. You're gonna go up there and tell them who's boss.
And then he says,
And stinky!
And stinky.
And stinky!
and then all of the goblins around there are like,
Stinky! Stinky! More cheese! More cheese!
God.
and Feanor, I'm gonna have you make a perception check for me.
I just
Wild, chief. I don't know what to say.
I got a 12.
You hear this coming up the halls, just barely, but you hear,
More cheese! More cheese!
and Dindy hears it too, and his eye and his face just goes pale. I think we used the last of it.
Oh, no.
Fortunately, they didn't steal all from my caravan, but it doesn't seem to have done us any good here.
Okay, hear me out.
What do we do?
Yeah, they
What do
want
we do? What do we do?
Okay. What fruits do we still have?
Apples. Let's see. Carrots. That's not a fruit. Come think. Did he think? And he's just like in all-out panic mode as he's just like.
Feanor's like, all right. It's not cheese, but prepare some fish, prepare apples, roast the apple, and stuff the fish with it. Extra sweet. Just if you have any sugar, glaze the apples in it. Distract them with something else. They're like. You give them something shiny and they'll be distracted. Just give them something sweet; it'll distract them from the cheese.
He begins
balance out the
calling
flavor.
out orders to Theodric. Fish is up in the top crate over there, just to the left. Oh, I don't want to see Anu. Oh my God! Push that barrel back in front. Oh my God! And he's just going through, and he's just like, okay. And he begins like thinking about like all of the ways that he could find foods to distract. I'm gonna have you, Feanor, make a dexterity saving throw as you go to rapidly gather all the ingredients that need to be used to distract from this meal.
A 12.
12. All right. Let's go back to Jess. He looks to you.
You're
Yeah.
right. I can't trust them as far as I can throw them. I could probably throw them pretty far, but...
Even less than you can throw them. That's
Even-
worse.
That's way worse!
And he's having a hard time like controlling like his outbursts. His voice volume is up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you make a perception check for me.
Okay, perfect.
This isn't how I thought this was gonna go, but I'm loving it.
How did you think this was gonna go?
I didn't know what I was expecting us to have to like fight tooth and nail to get to it, but like that
I
might
got
still
a-
happen.
I got a nat 20 for a 21.
That's funny. You see that the orcs.
That was
don't-
perception, yeah?
Yeah, perception.
Yeah.
You can tell that the orcs that are on the side, they're not even paying one iota of attention to anything that this goblin chieftain is saying. They kind of look and just kind of like snicker to each other, like, "Goblins, am I right?" And they're not paying attention. They're not hearing anything that's going on here.
Yeah. Perfect. Do I want to sow even more chaos? I think I do. I'll even alert the chief to the look, chief. They don't even pay you the proper respects.
Yes.
Gesturing towards them.
I demand respect!
And he like slams his fist down on the table, but instead of the table, he hits his cupbearer right on the head. And he shakily gets back up to his feet. And he looks over and he turns around over to the orcs and he points to them.
You! Rotate the guard!
As he chokes onto the wine as he begins kind of talking as he's drinking.
Rotate the guard! Quick. Now's the chance. Go back in my chamber,
Yes.
see if they've taken anything.
Okay. Wait, my chief. If it's locked, I'll need a key.
And he basically pulls up like these like very dirty kind of like a rag undershirt, and hanging on his belt is a loop of keys. There's 3 of them in total. One of them is basically like a rusty iron key. And then there's 2 of them. One is a bright silver, and the other one is a slightly kind of a dingy a little bit, but not like the rusted iron key. So there's kind of like 3 keys of varying degrees of brilliance. He takes out the super shiny key, and he's like,
Right.
you remember how to use this, and he begins fumbling through, and he says,
Remember how to use this. Just beyond my wardrobe, there's a small tunnel. I haven't been able to fit down there for years, but you know what to do.
and he hands you the key.
Does he
Go
only
tell the
hand me
guard
one-
inside that they're rotating.
Okay. Does he only hand me one key?
He hands you 1 key, the brilliant silver key.
Damn it! Damn it! So
Look, this
close.
is good. This is good. You can still sow division and be like, boss,
I know, right?
something's
Um,
missing.
Okay.
And you've stolen it. And you can be like, bro, boss, something's gone.
Oh my god, that's brilliant. Okay, can I figure out where his chambers are?
Yeah, so he pointed directly back here. It's very obvious during his speech that basically an ascent up. It's like really close to the back of his chair.
Okay, perfect.
Do you wanna start making your way
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
general direction?
I'll just head that way. I got no plan, man. I'm jazzing this.
You walk up the stairs, and you probably ascend about 40, 50 feet. Definitely higher than any of the places in elevation that you've gone thus far. And with that being the case, I can go ahead, I think, and show you the entirety of this map. So I can go ahead and replace everybody. All of these gobos are at the feast, but you start making your way up, Jess. I don't know where there you are. And you see in halfway up this stairwell, it kind of extends.
Can't see it on the
straight.
stream, Kyle.
Can't see it.
Nah.
The stream
I
screen
gotcha.
is way too small.
I got
Yeah,
you.
it's just cropped a little bit.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll just do this.
Beautiful.
Hey,
Yep.
everybody. Yeah,
Right.
you make your way over and you see that there are 3 orc guards standing out in front of a chamber, and you see that there is a door that is shut. But there are 3 orcs standing outside, all of them kind of talking in low voices, and you see one of them has what looks to be... Make a perception check.
Okay. Perception. Would you believe me if I told you I got a dirty 20 again?
Yeah, of course. You give me no
got
reason
it.
not to believe you. With that dirty 20, you see that there is a bottle in his hand, and you can see that there is a label that you are actually quite familiar with. It is the South Farthing Winery. This is some of the nicest wine, and chances are he should not be having this. As you approach, he rapidly puts it away in his basically behind, and he looks to you and says, "Oi, what you doing here? Boss
God
hasn't s-
rotation.
Who are you to be bossing
I-
us around?"
I am what was the goblin's name again? Grish or something like that? Grick. I am Grick, right? Revered scout of the goblin army and practically the right hand man of the chief, and he says from his mouth that you gotta go and do a guard rotation.
And I'm Gartak. I'm the one in charge of all the orcs that are here now that Ubhurst has been slain.
Yeah, well
It's
now
not
that
time for the
Albus has been
rotation.
slain, you work for my boss, which means you work for me.
Make a persuasion check for me.
Sorry, persuasion.
Persuasion.
Okay.
I don't think you're deceiving. You're doing exactly what you're telling them to do. So it's.
I am. I only got an 8 on persuasion though.
Why does he send a lowling like yourself? Grick.
Sorry.
I haven't heard your name before.
Yeah, that's right.
Fine, lads. Rotating.
And they begin making their way, basically out into here. You have a split moment to do what you can. You are face to face with a door. It's not super well made. It's basically held together with like one kind of like iron band, but you can see that there is a lock on it, and there's kind of like this crooked keyhole in it.
Yeah, I'll use the key, go inside, and then like lock it from the other side if I can.
You do so successfully. The key fits, and you hear a heavy click, and you are able to go inside without any issue. There's no lights on in this room, but you see that there are torch sconces on the wall, and they could be lit, and it smells as if they had recently been put out. But you look around and you see it's definitely not extraordinary by any means. Compared to a Hobbit hole, this is dingy, dark, and gross still, but probably pretty elegant for goblin chambers. But you do see that there is a bed on this far kind of south wall here, and there is a bedside table along with a few pieces of furniture. This furniture, you can tell, it's mismatching and probably has been looted off of caravans that have come through. They look of very different makes. And you can see that there is a wardrobe, a very tall standing wardrobe on the far side of the wall as well.
Yep. Perfect. I will search for the whole like opening that he mentioned.
And with that, you make your way over to this far wardrobe, and there is a false bottom, a false back to it that's very easy. You don't even have to make a check. You basically open this, and you can see that there's like a cutout of like very clear like cutout that's there. You push it, and it falls over, and you notice that there are very steep steps that descend down into darkness.
Yeah, perfect. I will continue forwards.
I'm gonna have you with these steep steps make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Pretty good at dexes. Okay. 17.
17. You make your way down here quite skillfully, and in front of you, you see an entire room filled with silver. There are hundreds of coins down here. If you had just a guess, there's probably close to 200 silver pennies down here.
That's a lot of moolah. Anything else of value, like precious gems?
Make a investigation or perception check for me.
It's gonna be perception. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Jess knows what she's about.
You make your way over to the back here, and you can see that there is a small little cupboard, and there's a kind of like some like a brass little fixtures on top that maybe like a mirror or something could be stashed or used to belong there, but is no longer there. But you do see sitting on top of it a shield. It's a pretty fine looking shield. In fact, you would say that this probably belonged to someone important that you could see. However, the shield it's got all kinds of dust and spiderwebs, so it's been here for a long time, as it were. You can go ahead and add to your inventory a fine shield, with that being the case. And additionally, you see right next to it a broken glass, like a drinking glass almost, and sitting right by the side of it, almost as if this was chucked at the glass for some reason. A very dingy looking stone. But you are familiar with like gemstones and things like that, and you can see that it's got like a vague look of it. I'm gonna have you make a perception check as you examine it.
Okay.
No, I didn't even get that she was looking at gemstones because she's a gem girl. I thought she was looking for valuables.
I was looking for valuables, but 12.
12. You pick it up and you look kind of all around it. It's a smooth, almost kind of like a oval shape, probably the size of an egg. Actually smaller than that. Probably the size of like a peach pit.
Big.
Like a peach pit. And so you look at it, and there is some kind of rune or icon etched on the front, one that you cannot read. But this very kind of dingy, dusty, you try to take the dust off of it, but the dust does not want to leave, and it kind of leaves almost kind of like a stone rough surface. But it's like you like lick your finger, you rub it, but this doesn't even take the dust off of it. It's a very curious object, but it's here.
All right, yeah, I'll pocket that one. As for the shield, is there a way that I can like have it and still like have people not notice that I have it, because I don't know if it would fit in my bag.
It's a pretty big shield. I would say that you could probably try to hide it underneath the bits of scraps that you are. You would have to make like deception checks if you left with it. You could like hide it underneath like cloth and like armor that you have. Potentially,
so
you have enough of that. It's like strapped together. It's not like you're wearing like tight fit like leather jerkin.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm just gonna leave the shield, I think, because I can't use it anyway.
Yeah, and it's all I think an excellent. If we manage to somehow get out of here or convince them all to kill each other, then that might be a good time to go for it. But it'd be best for Jess to just kind of keep sneaking her way through and deceiving people. And it's easy as.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you make a perception check really quickly.
Okay, perfect. Oh, that's not good. I got a 4.
You've noticed that you've lost track of time about how much time you've been in here.
Oh no. That's fine. I was told to be down here, so that's okay. I will. Okay. Hang on. Yeah, I'll grab like a handful of silver pennies, I think.
Okay, I'm gonna have you roll a d20 for me.
Okay, perfect.
And you can add your sleight of hand modifier to that.
Okay, so 3 plus 4.
All right. You can just off the bat, you're able to pick up 7 coins.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. That being done, I will head out back to the main room.
All right, you do so. I'm gonna have you make one last perception check as you do so.
Okay. Oh boy. Perception. No! I got a nat one.
At least-
You begin rushing. You begin rushing towards the doorway, and as you open it, you see 2 orcs standing guard, looking right at you, and they say,
Wait, are they like inside the door or
outside.
like...
So you open the door to leave
yeah.
the room, and both of them are standing right there. The guard has changed, and these are new orcs that are here.
Perfect.
I'm gonna go ahead and have you try to talk your way out of what's going on here.
Yeah.
They look to you and they say, "Oi, what are you doing here? Do we have a goblin sneak?"
I was told to be here. What are you doing here?
We were told to change the guard. We heard nothing about goblins sneaking into the chieftain's room.
I'm not sneaking. I got a key. And I'll show them the key.
He narrows his eyes. I'm gonna have you make a deception check for me, or perception. I guess this would probably be not perception, persuasion. This would probably be more persuasion.
It's the same modifier
Okay,
either way.
persuasion.
So, yeah. 12. Would it be advantage because I showed them the key, or is it just flat?
Yeah, it's just flat. Oh, for this one.
Yeah.
With that nat 1 that you had coming up.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That would do it.
They're gonna look to you and they're gonna be like. One of them turns to the other and says,
This one could have easily nicked it off of the chieftain's belt. He's quite
I
sloshed,
could
haven't you seen?
not. Have you seen that guy? He's tight. What? You think I would have the audacity to nick a key off the goblin chief in front of like 1,000,000 feasting goblins? The whole feasting goblin tribe. I think you're just jealous that your new chief is hogging all the good wine and he didn't leave any for you.
Who said anything about him being my chief?
What was the orc's name?
Yeah, the orc that was drinking the good wine, right?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm getting at. So I'll say like,
I suppose you could say the one who like that told everyone to change the guard, is drinking the good stuff and not sharing.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I'll just say, oh, that orc that declared himself in charge after your chief died. I caught him drinking good wine. I was gonna go tell the goblin chief about it now. Obviously, he's not sharing with yous.
make a persuasion check.
Nat 20 for a 24.
Our little secret.
Oh my lord. This feels like in the extended cut of Lord of the Rings where he's like, punch me, Sam, and then they start a riot amongst all the goblins. Like, this is what this feels like. This whole interaction.
He goes,
Fine. Off with you. Go enjoy your food while there's still some left.
Why, thank you. And I'll go.
and you hear, that filthy. As you continue to walk off. You see, nobody has really moved. Everybody's still eating. But as we're going to go ahead and jump over to Feanor as you make your way down here. So Feanor, in the meantime, what was your acrobatics check? Was that or dexterity saving throw? Dexterity save.
I got a 12 before.
Okay, 12. You're able to put together something that you seem decently proud of, but it seems like less and less time is passing before goblins are coming in. They seem to be ravenous. In fact, I'm going to have you make another dexterity saving throw. I'm going to make one for Theodric as well.
I got a 10.
As a natural 1 for a 2 for Theodric. two goblins sneak right in, and they are talking to each other. But all of the sudden, they see you all hurriedly cooking and at work, and they look to each other.
Still in our orc helms.
They look to each other and says,
Hey, what are you doing? Eating the food?
Ah, too slow yourselves. You know what? You two seem like good lads. Come and get a bite. We're gonna have this one next. Your king wants to have him for himself.
make a persuasion check for me.
Oh god, this is gonna be
Yes, yes, yes.
a
Join,
17.
join Team Gaslight.
Yes, why didn't we think of this before?
Yeah, you good lads, come here. Here, look, have you seen this fish? If you can have 4 for you and give 1 to the crowd, that way you don't go hungry.
Smart idea, this one. We should listen to orcs more often, don't you think?
Yeah. Boy, lads, if you're in the mood to maybe be getting a bit more of a cut, you know, there's a lot of goblins here. If you can get everyone really drunk, you can go get all the loots and have as much food as you want. Take in 3 extra barrels of wine. You can have more, and then when everyone else is too drunk to eat, we have this Hobbits.
Make a persuasion check.
A 7.
7.
I don't hurt goblin chiefs, but no, what they don't know won't hurt them, don't you think?
The other
Our
one.
little
Yeah,
secret.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, nice idea, orcs. You worked for Arbors, didn't you?
Yeah, but he's gone. He's dead.
Yes, he's dead. More fish for us!
And they go and they start just like raiding the boxes, and they start beginning to take fish and stuff and lining their pockets with fish and whatnot.
I'm actually going to sort of reach in and I'm going to pull out like 10 copper pieces and I'm going to walk up to him and say,
Here, for yous as well, some shinies. Got 'em off one of those big Bjornen fellas.
Did you say shine?
And they begin like as if like this is the most money they have ever seen in their life.
yeah, and I'm gonna be like,
But I want you to save some of this meat for us later. Put it in a nice spot for us to eat later.
Yes, yes, of course, you!
And they point over to Dindy,
Save us some for later, or you're gonna get it!
and they pull out like a dinner knife and like up to his throat. And Dindy's like, ah! Get.
Hey, that's our good foods. You can't kill it now. It'll be too old by the time it comes morn.
You're right.
And they put the fork and knife away, and they go,
Yes, first we go to the wine cellar. Yes, there's lots of good Hobbit wine down there.
and they go and they start talking to each other as they depart.
Oh my god. Oh, Dinty, are you okay?
I'm gonna have to make an insight check for me.
He's not okay. My guy is panicking.
I got a 10.
His knees are shaking, and you can maybe just make out the fact that maybe his teeth are chattering. And for some reason, the floor is perhaps a bit wetter than it was when you first came in here.
Look.
Oh,
no
that
alarms have
was
gone
Theodric, by the way. He got a nat 1 on that stealth check. He was surprised.
You need
Yeah.
to
I'm
not
so
roll for
glad.
Theodric anymore.
Oh, no,
Or for anyone.
look, Dindy, no alarms have gone off, which means Jess is probably at this very moment getting the key. You know, she's just gonna make her way back up here. The next time the goblins come up for food, I'm sure she'll be one of them, or she'll be coming up herself. You know, no alarms have gone off, so we know that the plan is still going.
I do hope. And it's like for the first time, he kind of like squats down and rubs his ankle as if he's noticing the pain for the first time since you've been here. I miss my bed, my pillow. Oh, sheep's wool blankets. To be home at the Easterly Inn. To wake up to Shadrach's kisses.
Yes, yes. Think of the magic dog. Uh,
He looks to you. Magic. Peculiar. I didn't think magic. But he
did
is
you
a
not
good
notice
boy.
that? Did you not notice that he could fly? I was told myself by Theodric. But isn't that right?
Make a deception check. Theodric's like, oh yeah.
Is
Yeah,
it
15.
is it deception, or do you actually believe that Shadrach can fly?
Well, no. Feanor's trying to get his mind away from being
Uh,
so scared. He's trying to get him to think of home.
I never really thought about it.
He can carry
Dog.
drinks. He literally understands the monetary value of coin. How could he not be a magic dog?
I just thought he was a real good boy. You know, when we took him in, and he begins talking about Shadrach, when we took him in, he was nothing more than a stray. But it was as if he was already trained, knew exactly what we needed. He's part of the family now. I miss my family.
Well, look, we'll just keep cooking, and you'll get to see them. Think about it. Think about it. Would we really have all come here if we weren't getting out?
I
You know?
could do with some of the wine that's here. And he
Feanor
just
pats himself
slowly
down.
chopping.
Oh no, his wineskin is left in the past. uh, yes, keep cooking. This time I reckon. What meats have we got? Okay, we still seem to have.
There's a rack of sheep ribs over there.
Okay.
They're salted and they're so
Okay.
tasty. But that was supposed
Okay.
to be our celebratory return meal.
Get down the ribs. What we're going to do is we're going to get sugar and spices and rub it on it. And Feanor starts putting water in a thing. It's like we're going to initially steam it very quickly, like on high heat, and then we're going to chuck it here and just flame grill it, cover it in a sauce.
That sounds nice.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so
And
nice. There's some. He points over to Theodric. That barrel over there. There should be some figs. I can make a fig barbecue sauce out of that. Oh,
Yeah.
And maybe some. What would go good with that? Oh, I think I have some rosemary over there.
do you have anything with spice? Like anything spicy?
No. But
Perhaps.
oh wait. I have some clove. It's kind of spicy, and some garlic over here. If you eat it by itself, it's spicy too.
Because my thought is we could make something and then litter some of them with spicy, some without. Hopefully just make a few of them. Oh no, that'll anger them. Drat. Look, we just keep working.
Yes,
Just hope Jess gets back to us in
I
time.
hope. Oh, fingers crossed. Okay, keep going. Remember what Agatha said, and he begins reciting recipes that she had taught him in his mind.
Mhm.
But that's going to bring us back to Jess. Jess, you make your way down these stairs, and you find yourself in a very similar position than you were before.
Yeah.
With the king's ear.
He's not paying
Yeah.
attention. His back's completely turned to you, but yeah, you're here.
He's not paying attention.
Nope, not from what you can tell.
Is anyone else paying attention to me?
Make a perception check.
Perception. 18.
18. You look to your left, you look at the orcs. They do not seem to give a care in the world about what's happening. You do see a
Yeah.
couple orcs look up and peek at you, but then they start chowing down on their fish and whatnot that they have in front of them at this point. At the moment,
I notice
you are completely unnoticed as you walk down these stairs.
Do I notice that the goblins in the back have stuffed their pockets with extra food, or is that too much of a stretch?
The most likely the ones that are going out are the ones that are at the back. They're probably like the lowest in the pecking order, so they're the ones that are bringing all the food in. You would have to make a darn good check to see that back there, but
That's okay.
They are bringing in wine.
That's
So,
true.
like,
There
they
is a
would be
barrel
more
of
noticed.
wine that is freshly been cracked open, and I don't know. Do you tap wine or do you just like open the top of the barrel? I have no idea.
Oh, actually,
Box wine.
a bag of goon.
Yeah, they probably have like taken like they've probably taken like a crowbar and like just have taken off the lid, and they're like
It's
dunking their-
goblins. Yeah, they're just like
Yeah.
spilling
dunking
it
their
out.
cups in. So yeah, they're doing that.
They're doing shoeys.
Yeah.
Oh my lord! You don't bring
So
up shoes
good.
in this household. But
Um,
yes.
Bogan
Yes.
too. Okay, so there's two ways I could play it. I could just like try and go for the key, or I could like do this more. Yeah, I'm gonna go up to the chief and I'm just like gonna call attention to myself, like be like, my chief,
Oi!
I'm back.
Quick. What did you see?
You can't trust those orcs.
What do you
They're
mean?
stealing all the best wines. I saw they had some of your fancy rocks. Can't trust the orcs.
I don't consider myself much of a rock collector, but they're stealing from me. Stealing what's not theirs, and
He slams his fist down on the table, and he turns and he pulls out what looks to be like this like long knife, and he points over to the orcs.
you empty your pockets.
The two of them look at each other.
What do you mean? I said, empty your pockets.
And as he says pockets, all of the goblins stop what they're doing, and they all look up, turning around from their seats and just like kind of like curious, like looking at the orcs.
Pocket. Turn out your pockets.
And then all of them just start shouting,
Turn out your pockets. No one's a chief. Turn out your pockets.
and then they
I start chanting with them.
Now, now
We have nothing to hide. We swears it. We swears it on the life of hers. He's quite dead.
I yell, Uppers is dead!
That's right, you sneaks, you thieves in the night.
And the chieftain, he gets down off of his throne pedestal and he walks over. He stands just above eye level, which for a goblin, that is freaking huge. And he's like twice the width of them. Not necessarily fat per se, but just like built, broad. And he pokes the orc in the chest. He goes,
You! I hired you for a reason. Yes, hers is gone, but you work for me now. And if you're stealing from me, I need to know. Empty your pockets!
and the orcs, and they pull out one of the bottles of wine and put it down on the table, and they a few coins and like buttons and like some like carcasses of like small rodents. And he goes, "Now what do we have here?" He reaches down and he picks up the bottle. It's empty at this point, and he looks.
I can't read, but this looks like a Hobbit's wine. This was for me. I was saving it for later.
And he turns around to the rest of the goblins.
How many of you have tried this Hobbit wine?
There's a couple goblins in the back.
I had a sip. Shush.
And he looks at the orcs and says,
Today is a day of celebration. But you've hurt me so.
and he points to like the right side of his chest, not even where his heart is.
You hurt me so. But you. Off with you. All of yous. Get out of my sight. I don't want to see you. Hide nor hair. Round up the rest of you. All of you turn out your pockets in front of me right here before you leave. Now!
And the one of the goblins or orcs here, they begin. He makes his way, and they start with their pockets turned out. They go and alert the others.
Yeah.
Feanor, I'm gonna have you make a perception check for me.
Oh, this is gonna be real bad.
Yeah. While they're gone, can I say something to the chief?
Yeah.
Nine.
Yeah. I will say they must have intimidated the hobbits into giving him, extra food and stuff. You should let me go and keep an eye on the hobbits, and then when it's time to get him, to bring him in to eat, I can unlock him from the chain and I can bring him here. I'm
Keep
loyal
it
to
hard.
Yes,
Yeah.
keep it guard. That's what I'm going for.
Okay.
Make a deception check for me.
Okay, here we go! 18.
Grick, I know you.
Sure do.
We've been through a lot together, haven't we? These halls.
Yeah.
They used to belong to dwarves, but no longer. No. This is my home. This is our home. Orcs, they don't belong here.
They're not
Just
cut out for it.
Not cut out whatsoever. Ubhurs was a strong orc. He kept them in line. But without them, they're conniving, they're scheming. I can't trust them. But you I can trust. Brick, you've seen a lot. You've brought us food. You've brought us a cook. I will relieve the responsibility to you. See to it that he stays unspoiled until the morning. This feast will be at an end soon, and I cannot wait to taste juicy hobbit's flesh. And you will get some to share too. Chieftain's promise.
That means a lot to me, Chief.
And he begins kind of reaching back and scratching to see which side it's from, to reach for his key. I'm gonna have you make a perception check for me.
15.
There is just on the floor next to his feet what looks to be a letter scrawled out in kind of unrecognizable text, but it looks like it has fingerprints, like it just recently has been read within the past few minutes. But he does pull out the key, and he takes out the dingy iron key, and he gives it to you.
Yeah.
This is the key to the Hobbit shackle. I will send word when we are ready for the dessert.
Yes, my chief.
And he hands over the key to you, and it's actually quite heavy as you put it as it drops into your hand.
So as he drops it in my hand, I accidentally on purpose let it fall to the ground, and then as I go to pick up the key, I just take the letter as well.
As he again a little bit slow. I'm gonna have you
stay right there, my chief. I got it.
I'm gonna have you make a sleight of hand check with advantage for me.
Okay, perfect.
Feanor, with your check, you begin to hear this yelling coming from down. You don't hear any bells, but you begin to hear yelling. There's no longer the revelry of the goblins that you heard before. Yes, what was your check, Jess?
23.
You pick up the key, and in one fell swoop, you're able to tuck it underneath the sleeve of your shirt. Just and you take the key in one hand. And you're and you wave it to the chief. And he kind of
And I leave before he realizes that he didn't get the silver key back.
You just like immediately bow and walk off in the direction.
Just walk.
Before we get back to Jess, Feanor,
Yeah.
you hear this. What is your initial reaction to this yelling?
Initial reaction is to hide just like how we did earlier.
Make a stealth.
I'll probably send Theodric just a little bit further back, but like still just kind of around the corner where we were hiding earlier. Yeah, just like back. Here, I'll just project.
Yep.
We're like Theodric back here, just because like he's been kind of caught unprepared a few times and stuff. I am going to hide down here where he has been hiding earlier.
Perfect.
So that way we're like a unified front if anyone shows up.
You wait for a minute or two. This is actually the longest that goblins have not come to check in on Dindy. And actually at this point, Dindy, with your help, has prepared a lot of food. Probably you could feed 60, 70 people. Goblins are kind of ravenous, so whatever, give or take. And you feel impressed with yourselves, but you hear this yelling. And you begin to slink back into the shadows. I'm going to have the two of you make stealth checks for me.
I'm going to say to Dindy as well, like... Oh, no. You know what? No, never mind. It's okay. We've got this. 21.
21. You sneak back into basically the cupboard, and a goblin does make his way up here. In tow, there are 2 orcs that come on either side, and he calls over to Theodric.
Oi, you! Chief's orders. We've been dismissed.
Theodric, what would you like him to do?
All right. It's like, okay, for Theodric, he'd probably be like, right. No. Well, we packing up then.
Packing up indeed. Grab whatever you can from here.
And the orc, he immediately takes his heavy scimitar and he lashes out at the goblin and just chops its head right off. He picks up the body and throws it over his shoulder, and he pushes Dindy actually off to the side. And Dindy falls over like the top of a table, and they begin to scoop up pilefuls of the food that is here.
Theodric would probably be like, I can grab this. Go grab the wine. Food you can find wherever. Wine, that's precious.
Sure beats
I've got this.
grog.
And he's going to start rolling over like a big barrel. He's like, I'll fill this.
I'm going to have him, I guess I can roll it, make a deception check for me, which I don't know how good he is at deception, but let's see. +0, so we'll see how this goes. 15.
Okay.
The orcs say, "You're right. Load this one up first," and they toss the orc over. He's gonna make a, we're gonna say he's gonna make a strength saving throw as this goblin body comes hurling towards him. That's gonna be a total of an 8, which he just catches, nearly knocking him over, but he does catch and puts him in the barrel. The orcs leave. You don't know for how long, but they leave.
All right. Oh my god. Okay. This is going to be close. There's going to be orcs probably heading out this way soon. Come on, Jess, where are you?
I'm gonna have you make a stealth check for me.
A stealth check.
Stealth
okay.
check.
Am I stealthing or am I just... Okay, yeah. Stealth. 14.
Which direction are you going? Up or the way you came from?
I go the way I came from because I'm still not totally familiar with the caverns yet.
Yep. You wind your way back up to the smithy, and you hear 2 orcs grumbling to themselves, and they say,
You get the wine. You see any more of those little buggers? Sever their heads from the shoulders.
And they begin walking. And with that 14, you see 1 orc come down. He stops and he looks in each direction and doesn't notice you as he continues walking down the southern corridor.
I start sprinting.
And before long, you moments pass and you find yourself back in the room with Vaynor, Theodric, and Dindy.
Okay, I rip the goblin helmet off and I just.
Oh my god! Oh my god, Jess!
Oh my
Oh my god,
god!
Jess. Okay. Hear me out.
No time! And I unlock.
No.
I start.
Yeah, as you're
I grab the
unlocking,
key
I'm
and
like,
I unlock
all
the
the
shackle.
orcs are leaving. We need.
I know. I'm the reason they're leaving.
Okay.
Wait!
I do have.
What's happening? What's happening? As
Dindy,
you
Dindy,
just
I'm
start
unlocking the
messing with
shackle.
the
No,
lock and everything.
Is Dindy exhausted?
Oh yeah. He's got like 3 points of exhaustion at this point.
Dindy,
Oh my
eat
God.
this, and I shove the cake into his mouth.
That was delightful. And immediately you see that like the color
makes you
returns to
think
his
of home,
face.
right?
Or something. Okay, well, you've got this. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for?
No.
Nothing.
Okay.
Let's go.
No, Jess. Should we set an... Okay. These orcs are killing goblins. Should we send out an alarm so all these goblins fight all these orcs and it covers our escape?
That's a really good idea, actually.
Okay.
And I just start ringing the bell.
I'm gonna yell down. Orcs killing goblins! Orcs betrayers! Killers! And I'm like, now run! We all just...
Vaynor, make a deception check with advantage with the help of Jess.
Yeah. Just ring the alarm bell, and then I drop the alarm bell and get the heck out of there.
14. Sorry, 12.
As you begin
With
to,
advantage?
as you call
Yeah,
back,
that was
12 with advantage, okay. And as you call back, there's a couple moments of silence. However, you can begin to hear the sounds of clinking metal. And then immediately you hear, "Fight for your lives, each one of us. We're getting out here with what we came here for." And they are currently, whatever orcs are there, seem to be fighting. And with that, what are you doing?
We are getting Dindy, and we are leaving. We are not staying. Nope.
So
Nada.
there are going
Gone.
to be a couple of checks that are going to be made because you created a distraction. You are going to get a head start on whatever is happening here.
Yes.
I'm going to have you as a group check make dexterity saving throws. Who is carrying Dindy?
Who has the highest strength? Me or Theodore?
Probably, yeah, you will.
I think
Theodric
we might
has a
both have.
15.
We both have a 15, so we'll say Theodric can carry him. And
I will
I'll be
say
like-
this. So these are dexterity saving throws. Theodric has a 12 to his dexterity score. A total of a
Okay, then I'll carry
plus
him.
1.
Because I've got a 14. So
So you throw Dindy over your shoulder as you begin to move. Your dexterity saving throws are going to be at disadvantage.
yep, that's fine.
Okay. So I'm gonna have all three of you make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Okay, perfect.
I got a 6.
I got 10.
That is going to be a 12. 2 of the 3 of you passed, and so you make it past the first hurdle as you flee into the caverns. You still hear fighting behind you, although you hear in the back too.
Check the Hobbits! See if they killed him!
And the goblins are most likely going to be spilling into the larder. You have left this goblin chamber and have started making your way towards the pit at this point. What is the plan here? You arrive at the pit. How are you attempting to cross? The same way you went along the side, or anything like that?
I think that might be for the best.
Yeah.
Are you
How do we
going
cross?
to do the same where you're tying yourselves to each other? That's
Yeah.
gonna cost you a little
With
bit
the
of time.
hobbits in the middle, I think.
Yeah,
would be the best
definitely
way.
tying each other. Like, there's no way we're gonna do it without the extra support.
Who's going in front? Theodric.
I guess
or
Jess, you go
Vaynor?
first. In the front, I guess it'll be Fainor. Fainor will go first.
Go ahead
That
and
way
make
they can
an
catch you.
acrobatics check for me as you start to creep along the edge about the 30 feet. It's basically, so it's going to be you, Dindy, Jess, and then at the very tail end, it's going to be Theodric. Okay.
I got a 12.
You begin to make your way across. Even in the hurried state, you easily sneak past the ledge. Dindy is going to make his check at this point now. Unfortunately, he is not exhausted anymore, thank goodness, and so he is going to make his check. And that is going to be for a total of 18. Yes, as he just starts to scurry, like almost like sprint across the side. Jess, I'm gonna have you make an acrobatics check for me.
Natural 20 for a 22.
You do so as well.
You are
pulling
on fire.
Pulling Theodric with you, and because of that, he is going to get an advantage on his acrobatics check. So,
Last session of the year, baby.
God, burning through all your luck. We'll come
So
back
that's gonna be a
and you'll just
17.
die.
And a natural 1 for a 2, so he's going to take the 17.
Oh.
And you all just sprint across. Are you going to do anything to cover your trail, or just keep running?
Is there?
I say just keep running.
You
Like,
have a
Yeah.
moment to decide, since you've tied yourselves
well,
up.
like,
As you're untying
the-
yourselves, how are you? Like, you have a moment to think about what your next plan is.
Is there anything we
The-
can do to block the path behind us in any
I mean,
meaningful way?
the
Really?
pit already does that, and I think as we were going like into like the cliff was quite crumbly.
Hmm.
So I know if we had some gunpowder, I'd suggest setting off a bomb.
A bomb, you say? No, I say that we just keep going. Our
Yeah.
greatest advantage here is that they don't have wogs. There might be wolves that we encounter outside the caves, but at the
I
moment,
will
like
note
at
this
least
too. They also don't know that you're here, so they might
Exactly.
be chasing, but they don't know that you're chasing specifically.
They just think it's good old Grick. They probably
Or
think
no, they
that
probably-
Grick got killed by orcs.
yeah.
or something.
So we're just gonna keep going. The biggest advantage we have is distance. Once we're out of these caves and hopefully in some daylight, that will be the best chance for us to be able to make our way further. You know, like
Yeah.
even if it's running through the night.
So I'm going to have you make 3 checks. The first check is going to be a party-wide dexterity saving throw again. Depending on the result of this, again, from the party-wide, you're going to make a survival check with a varying degree of difficulty based off of that. If you pass that, you'll be able to make your way through the caves, and then you will have one last dexterity saving throw or a constitution saving throw to see if you gain any points of exhaustion upon your flight. So dexterity saving throws for me.
Ooh,
I got
this is exciting.
6 for Theodric.
I got a 12.
I got a 9.
Ooh.
They gain on you by 1. I'm gonna have you make a survival check. Specifically you, Feanor, because you're the party guide.
Yep. 6.
6. Things start getting very confusing as you try to determine which way out. The rush has made it so you have lost your way. You seem to be wandering around for hours, confused of where to go. You eventually pick up your trail. You all gain a point of exhaustion. And you still hear goblins behind you. They don't sound super close, but you hear them behind you. I'm going to have each of you make a dexterity save again.
You stole all my luck.
That is
I got a
natural-
5.
That's a 3 for Theodric.
I got a 19.
Oh, do any of us have any points to give him inspiration? No, I don't.
I can get you to roll a d16.
I can do that.
Yeah, that's all we got.
Yeah.
That is a 16.
Do it. Ooh.
What the frick?
Rolling again.
All right, who's
Roll
rolling?
again.
Who's rolling? Theodric or Feanor?
It's gonna be for Theodric.
Theodric's gonna roll again. Okay.
And doesn't a D16 give us all inspiration?
Yeah.
Oh, it does. You're right. Yeah. Okay. So Theodric
Um,
definitely.
Don't change the rules on us.
I forgot.
I already-
thought
I already
it was
marked
like-
it down, buddy.
So Jess, what did Jess get for her roll?
19.
So just get Theodric.
That's gonna be a
Okay.
6.
I guess I'm rolling again as well. burning through them. I got a 17.
Okay, you're
There we
able
go.
to make your escape to the point where you don't hear them any longer behind you. But now it's the case of whether you can find your way out or not. And with that being the case, I'm going to have you make one more survival check for me.
Come on.
Can I negate the disadvantage if I'm helping?
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay.
Do
perfect.
I have disadvantage on skill checks? Yeah, because I've got 11.
Yeah, exhaustion. Yeah.
Okay. So you're negating disadvantage.
Yep.
Yeah. So just roll flat.
Flat.
Goes to
Natural 20.
14.
Oh wait. Yes, because I had my dex and then the other one.
And with that 14, you are able to eventually find your way back onto the same path. At this point, you all have been running for a solid, probably 4 hours, just wandering around lost, and eventually you do pick up. You all gain an additional point of exhaustion, but you found your trail. And as you do so, you follow your way up. You are able to find the little bit of light hanging on the horizon, and you all go out into the sunlight. It is probably at this point around 3:00 p.m. in the afternoon on the next day. You are officially out of the Goblin Caves, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the journey is behind you. What is your plan of action going forward from here, now that you are no longer in these Goblin Caves?
I think just find somewhere to hunker down and sleep where they can't find us.
How many days are we from like that enchanted circle thing?
You were 1 day out.
So I think our best effort is to try and get there as quick as possible, and then take it like obviously try to avoid any extra exhaustion that we can take, but if need be, get there because that place seemed to radiate safeness, and if we can stay there for even a full day or something,
Yeah.
then it gives us a chance to recover and to lose the tracks and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
it's a
good.
good call.
Theodric, he nods. It's a good idea. You can find your way there. You know the path. It's pretty much just right up the path, up on a set of cliffs. If you will go at double pace, you can do it, but I'm going to have you make Constitution saving throws. A failure of this will give you another point of exhaustion. So,
It's fine.
Do we want to do that?
Like, once we get there, we can spend like a couple of days sleeping off the effects of the exhaustion.
Well, you have to have
But
a
if
long
we-
rest to get rid of exhaustion stuff, don't you, Kyle?
yes, that's
It's-
correct.
I thought it was
So-
like 8 hours of sleep, and then you have a
No.
chance to get rid of it.
So you need a complete sleep to keep yourself from. So 8 hours is like the complete sleep in order to
Yeah.
gain more points of exhaustion. That's like the necessary requirement for it. You have to basically do double of that in order to get rid of 1 point, and then double of that to get another rid of 2 points, and then double of that.
So
it
yeah,
can be-
we don't have like 5-6 days to wait.
So you can get rid of potentially a couple points of exhaustion if you want to wait for a couple of days.
I think
about a day
I think
and a
we
half.
push it. I think we push it then, and if we get the extra point of exhaustion, well, that's something that we can recover.
Yeah,
And it means that we got guaranteed safety today.
exactly.
Because we make it regardless. It's just about whether we get a point of exhaustion, correct?
Yep, that's true.
So I reckon we just push through. We recover 2 points of exhaustion by spending a day and a half there,
Mhm.
and then continue on our way. So
It honestly sounds a really solid plan.
okay, I have no more of my cakes either, so I can't.
That is a
That's
21 for Theodric.
I got a 12.
Okay.
Oof, I got a 2.
So, Jess, you do take on an
Oopsie.
extra point of exhaustion, but both Feanor and Theodric do pass. You're able to make your way up to that cliff around where the kind of fiery-looking flowers are. And as you pass within the circle, you immediately kind of feel this reprieve. As you look out into at this point, evening sky. It is starting to grow dark again. And, Dindy looks at each of you and says, "Why are we stopping here? We're exposed on this cliff."
No,
Clearly
no,
we're
no,
going to
didn't
see
do
I
us.
this.
immediately fall asleep.
I'm going. Feanor's going to like sit cross-legged, and he's gonna be like, Dindy, come have a sit. Doesn't this feel something peaceful about this spot? Listen to the birds. Listen to nature.
Looks
Don't you
around.
feel calmer in this spot?
I feel tired.
Then rest. We've gotten you this far. You can trust us.
Trembling, he kind of lays down in his kind of like own little space, like props himself up a little bit, like kind of leaning, sitting up against one of the charred trees, and you can see him.
Feanor is gonna put his cloak over him. As I think the winter cloak that he's got, especially with it being so misty and at night the fog and everything would be showing up. So
yeah,
actually
in the early
gives him
morning
that,
it will start to show up for sure.
Yeah, so making sure that he's nice and warm.
Perfect. And you do so, and he says thank you, but he looks off longingly out into the darkness before. You're no longer able to see very far off into the distance because of the night, and he just says, Toady, I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
Everyone
is
should
anybody
eat.
going to be keeping watch or any kind of rotation, or are you just going to wait it out?
I believe that Feanor will recover his levels of exhaustion the quickest.
Yes.
Will he not? Because I only need what, 4? Is it 4 or 6 hours of sleep?
So 4 hours
for a normal amount.
You'll need 8 hours for the to recover from 1 point of exhaustion, but you only need, so I guess double that would be 16. You need 16 hours total to recover from 2 points of exhaustion.
Okay, so I'll stay awake for the first 8 hours.
Okay.
To get us through most of the night, but then I'll probably just sleep it off so that because this is the most dangerous point right now, when the goblins could still be hot on our trail. But he'll sleep for he'll stay awake for 8 hours, and then for the next 16 he'll just sleep. I'm assuming everyone else is just going to be sleeping the whole time.
I'm going to have you make a group stealth check for me.
Yep. An 8. No.
16.
A 19 plus 1 for a 20. Oh, that's a disadvantage,
Thank-
though.
I didn't roll my stealth at disadvantage.
Oh, neither did I. Damn.
Yeah.
That's an 8.
Yeah. So 2 8s.
I still got a 16. I rolled a 10 twice.
And then I'm going to also roll for Dindy as well. You got a nat 20, but at disadvantage, that is going to be a 12. Everybody sleeps the night. The hobbits and Theodric, you immediately fall asleep, and your dreams are filled with nothing but darkness. You can hear and see things from the previous days. However, you can also feel a breeze as well. The breeze that you're feeling in real time. It's begun to creep into your dreams. This is something that is comforting and almost begins to dispel the darkness to some degree. Jess and I'm going to say Jess and Theodric, the two of you, I'm going to have each of you make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Is this against the effects of shadow?
No, it's not against the effects of shadow.
Okay, cool.
Edric with the 17.
Actually, yeah, 17, because that's disadvantage because he's still sleeping, so...
I got a 15.
15. With that being the case, you are able to fight back the nightmares. You're able to fight back the impending darkness, and you dream of home. Specifically, Theodric being back home in the tall golden grass. And Jess, you in your bed. It is a Sunday morning, and fall has just begun to settle upon the Shire. You see that there are pumpkins growing in the pumpkin patch just by the bywater, and you and your family are going out to select the biggest pumpkin for a feast of pumpkin pie and all kinds of
Oh yeah,
pumpkin
it's
sweets.
pie making day today, so we're gonna like harvest all the apples and all the berries and all the pumpkins, and we're just gonna make a million pies.
Mhm. And with that, you are able to recover 2 points of exhaustion from your sleep. Feanor, you are going to keep watch. I'm going to have you make a perception check for me. This is before you, so at disadvantage.
Yep. Natural 1 or 4.
It starts off quiet for the night, and immediately, pretty much right on cue, around 3 a.m., the fog starts to roll in. You are unable to see anything. You see that, you begin to feel shadows crouching in around you, but you're unable to, with your gaze, pierce through the mist. It is interesting, though, because the mist does seem to kind of cascade around this circle of flowers, but it never penetrates it. You spend a very restless time, basically up, watching all around you, and you can hear, bless you, you can hear chittering as if goblin chatter and goblin taunting you the entire night. You eventually do succumb, though, to your exhaustion, and you begin to fall asleep earlier than expected. I'm going to have you, Feanor. It is disadvantage anyway, so you don't get double disadvantage, but you are also going to make a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage for me.
Well, it's only disadvantage on saving throws if it's 3 levels.
Oh, does Feanor
One
only
level.
have 2?
I only have 2.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you go.
Feanor only
Yep.
has 2.
So you get
I was
disadvantage
the only
on
one
that nat
through.
1.
Yeah.
So that one gives you, so that's good to know.
I got a 16 at disadvantage.
Very nice.
With that being the case, you are able to heal from your afflictions as well. And by the time you wake up, we're at 2 points of exhaustion. And as you wake up, you stretch. It is a completely dreamless night, as you are typically used to, but it's not even like a contemplative. It is just like a blackout meditative state. But you begin to stretch, and everybody is still asleep as you do awake. But you see Dindy shivering by a tree. He seems to have not fared so well. He has only recovered from 1 point of his exhaustion. He has 2 points of exhaustion still to go. You can tell at this point it is around evening, dusk of the next day. It seems you have overslept. Overslept? How would that be? Nope.
Slept in.
Yeah, slept
That's
in a
what-
little bit more than what you wanted to, Feanor, but everybody is still fast asleep.
I think the first thing Feanor's going to do is from within the circle, kind of see in the area, like see if anyone's been nearby. Actually, you know what? He'll actually exit the circle as well, and like within eye shot of it still, kind of peruse the area to see if that chittering and stuff that he heard earlier was actually goblin or not, goblin activity or not.
Make a survival check for me.
A 5.
You examine, you see no signs of any footprints or goblin, whatever that would be. But it just sounded so real. You are on high alert for the remainder of this watch that you're at. However, because of that, you get disadvantage on your last perception check as everybody finishes up their last half day of rest.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, Feanor's just kind of just still be sitting on watch. Maybe he'll even like look at the flowers more closely that we've seen.
Yeah, go ahead and make a
Takes out
perception
it.
check at disadvantage.
A 9.
9. Tonight is a little bit different. Even as the fog begins to roll in, there is no sign of chittering or goblin speech. It seems completely quiet. But what you did encounter, what you did experience, seems to really hit. You can see Dindy like fighting off night terrors as he goes, "No, no, no more! I'm not cut out for adventure. I'm not like you, Bilbo. I want to make you proud." And a few times he wakes himself up, and he looks around and he sees that you're up, and he just closes his eyes, just clearly exhausted, and he drifts off to sleep. At some
Bloody
point,
Bilbo, am I right?
Bloody Bilbo. As he begins resting his head. Feanor, you are going to have to take another 4 hours of sleep in order to keep from getting points of exhaustion, if you wish to do so.
That is fine.
And you do so, and the morning comes. The morning, you have to wait a little bit before it starts to clear. But you do notice that it is a relatively overcast day. It doesn't seem super bright, but you could tell that it is decent travel. You look out, the four of you, out amongst the expanse of the Anduin River, and you see that it is a sight for sore eyes. Being in the dark for as long as you were, even though it really, in retrospect, wasn't that long, about half a day, a little bit more, this is a welcome sight. It is around 11 a.m. before you can start moving.
Oh, that's great. Okay, cool. I think. Yeah.
So, did the second night of rest clear my last point of exhaustion, or no?
So how many did you have before? 3?
I
Yeah,
had
three.
3, and then I lost 2 the first night.
Yeah, so that was the day and a half of rest.
Oh,
that you
okay.
had.
Yep.
So
Gotcha,
you
gotcha.
2 points of exhaustion. You still have 1 point. And Theodric
That's
still.
fine.
Oh no, he's
He
completely
had
healed up.
2s.
Yeah.
Yep, he's completely healed.
So that's why I think us pushing forward, and then
Yeah.
Weston was good. It was a
Totally
good
worth
idea.
it.
Good idea, because now you've got 2 people who have no exhaustion for if a fight does come up.
Yeah.
So.
Feanor.
But yes.
As the party navigator, we're going to have 3 checks as you begin to make your way back towards the Easterly Inn. The first check is going to be Feanor, just a general navigation check, which is going to be a survival check. And then the second check we're going to have is Jess. You're going to be scouting ahead, so I'm going to have you make either a stealth check or a perception check for me. And then the final check is going to be you, Feanor, for a final survival check.
That first one was a 19.
Okay. You easily find your way back to the main road. This looks all too familiar. You begin to pass down into the foothills of the Misty Mountains, and you pass across the ruins of Haycombe without much disturbance. It's actually quite pretty during the daytime. The horrors that you had experienced there, what was it, a couple days ago, just seem like a distant memory at this point. Just like a bad dream.
Feanor squints at the building like, ghosts. And keeps going. As he's just muttering to himself, Dindy's probably like behind him, and he can just hear, time traveling ghosts and horse armor. Yeah. As he's just like muttering to himself
you say
everything.
that,
That's like,
Theodric's like, oh, Baradara, as he thinks to himself, I miss my horse. No, but going in the downhill direction, you actually kind of catch this second wind as you move forward. It's a little bit exhausting for you, Jess, and you can tell that Dindy's really struggling. It's like all he can do to keep up, and in fact, Theodric is basically as like a child propped him up on his shoulders as you continue to walk. He's silent too. He doesn't really talk at all, as he just like kind of stares blankly off into the distance.
Yep. I'm yeah.
Feanor will say to Jess, it's like,
Chill
it'd be
out.
good to get him home. The thing that he needs now is family and a calm place to stay. We'll have to tell the Bjornings about what happened.
Yeah.
We found one of them.
Oh, I can't imagine that went well.
We were able to get some personal effects. Hopefully we can give them to Igor, and he can give them to his family. Do something that he wants with it. I think the best thing we need is some rest. But
Yeah.
soon we'll have a chance. Just got to keep outpacing these goblins. Always assume that the people know where you are. Always assume they're pursuing you. It's not the most comfortable way to live, but it keeps you alive. Never get complacent. Always assume an enemy knows that you're there, that you're about to make that strike, that they know the game you're playing. But anyway, onwards. Let's get back to the inn.
Jess, your stealth check during the rest of your adventure, your trek back to the Easterly Inn, which about from the point of the high pass, it's about a 6-ish at a normal pace day's travel. Your stealth check is going to be the determinant factor of your finding places to rest out of sight of anything for the duration of the journey. You still will have to pass through the old ford, which is again that the bridge with the bay awnings, and then once you're essentially in the, I think it's the East Upper Vales, you are home free, basically going back to the Easterly Inn. You are in Bayorn's lands at that point.
Yep.
Jess, go ahead and make a stealth or perception check. I'm assuming it's gonna be stealth.
Stealth. At disadvantage, I got a 17.
You easily find places to hide for the night.
Oh, yeah.
Even on like the parts where it seems like just plains, in the east, basically East Upper Vales of Bayorn's lands, you're able to find that. By the time you cross the old ford, the Bayornings actually do stop you. These two Bayornings are not ones that you recognize, but they hold up their hand and says, "Pay the toll, and you can cross."
Oh, not this again.
Has Igor been by in the past couple days?
Igor. Yes.
Big surly Bjorning lad, bad leg at the moment. He was with a tall elf fellow and a few men.
How could I forget? They seemed a little worse for wear, but they seemed in high spirits. Yes, they did pass this way no more than a day ago.
Well, they said they were going to pay our toll because they kind of owe us a life debt for going in and fighting off an entire, what would you call it? Not a group, a gang, a giant thing of orcs and goblins.
Yeah, a whole tribe of goblins, and then a lot of
so,
orcs as well.
Yes, we also bring news of a fallen Bjorning brother, so...
Ah, you're friends with the elf. What did he say his name was? Valineth.
Valineth, yes.
Yes, we were warned, actually. Not warned. We were alerted that you would be making your way through here, and for us to keep your eyes out. He brought a goblin with him, kept him in our charge. Well, let's just say it didn't end well for the goblin, but,
Oh, no, good times. Believe me, in the Mirkwood, we try not to be cruel to them, but they are creatures of the night, so it's the dark.
Well, this was the first time we could test if they swim. Unfortunately, he was missing an arm.
I
feel like
pay
I
the
should
toll
be
if we have
praised
to, but
because Gurk was actually
Greg.
Oh man, poor Greg.
Yep. He was loved by his king, and he'll never know it.
He was actually.
Long live Greg. I mean, not, but but yes, we thought that because of the circumstances, we'll pay the toll if we have to, but you know what? How much is it?
Your toll has been paid.
Oh, thank God.
We were alerted that you would be coming through here, and we did hear of what you had faced. Perhaps you have more information that the Bayornings would perhaps want to know more information about. Perhaps.
Oh yeah, they have an entire treasure trove down there.
Oh yes.
If you go down there and you get all the silver, I want to cut. What?
Just hear me out. Do you know where the Easterly Inn is? Where the hobbits are? They've set up a little inn on Bjorn's lands.
course. We're charged with protecting
If you could, yes, if you can send word there, send perhaps a Bjorning, or even perhaps we may be able to send Shadrach, the Bjorning Hound or whatever it is, off with a message. We found where an entire tribe of goblins are living, with how much gold is it? 400 silver pennies
200.
and 200 silver pennies and
Look,
gems and.
it was very confused because the orcs and the goblins started fighting each other, and I think if the orcs won, they were going to take the money themselves.
But yes, it's good. It's good for someone to know. Maybe they can send people, especially because you need more money to pay for the roads. Perhaps 200 silvers would go a little way, and at
But
least
I get
improving
20%.
this space.
You said
can-
you were
that
in
can
the
be
goblin
part of-
tunnels.
We were.
Yes,
Yeah. It was awful.
we just wanted
Sounds
to make
awful.
sure that you knew about it. But
We appreciate it. Unfortunately for us, 200 silver pennies is not necessarily worth an expedition down into the dark. There's evil that lies down there. The fact that you were able to make it out alive with your lives, that shows a lot of
perhaps
skill
you'll-
on your part.
perhaps you'll be able to hire. Why don't you put up a notice? Maybe a team of adventurers will come by and go and retrieve the silver for a cut.
I like
But
the
if
way
you do that,
think
I want to cut.
business.
I get 20%.
Jess, how are they going to find you to pay you your 20%?
I mean, just send it back to my home in the Shire. It's not difficult, is it?
My God, you have a house. I forget. You know, I just kind of live in a room. Like my father owns like a room, but
Okay.
it's
It's not a house. First of all, it's a hole.
yes, you own a hole in the ground.
I don't
I lived in a hole in the ground.
I
Big
don't
deal.
own a hole in the ground, okay? My parents
That's-
do. But I was going to send the money to them anyway, so honestly, you'd just be cutting out the middleman.
Like I said, we'll send someone to the Easterly Inn and we can give them all the details, the numbers of the goblins. There was a really, what were you saying, Jess? There was a giant, big, fat one, some goblin king or something.
Yeah, the Goblin Chief. What
Yeah.
was his name? I wrote it down. Grobar.
Yeah. So whoever we
Pretty
can
cool
inform.
guy. Oh,
Yeah,
I took his keys.
We were also actually able to kill. What was the name of the?
Ubud.
Yeah,
Ubhers.
Uber.
I was also able to kill an orc called Ubhers. If he's been causing you any trouble, he seems to have been an orc that was for hire around these parts. But we were able to dispatch of him as well.
Oh, I would have given you the helmet back to Fanel.
Yeah. Feanor's got it purely for the aesthetic.
We love that for you.
Make a persuasion check. It could be with advantage since both of you are talking to them.
What are we trying to persuade them of?
I don't know.
Who's making this persuasion check? Jess? Thane?
Oh,
I just-
me.
Okay.
I will.
Yeah. I assume because you're quiet, I just started rolling.
Sorry, I didn't know that we had the option of choosing who
So
was gonna
because
do
you
it.
are one level of exhaustion, it'll just be normally then.
Oh yeah, okay. So I
That's
was
probably going to be better off chances, like better higher.
Yeah, that was a 17.
17.
Oh.
They look to you and they say, well, we were looking for you to see if you would cross here, and you've given us something to think about. Perhaps we will send word to the Easterly Inn, though that is your destination. If there are any adventurers for hire, most likely we can find them there, and business dealings be as they are. Yes, we would love to give you a cut. That is, if we can hire those who are swarthy enough and, well, apt to the task.
Well, you know what they say. If there's a pile of silver or gold, you're probably going to find a bunch of goblins there. So at the very least, you can be more aware of knowing where an entire goblin tribe lives, so that part of the road can be better reinforced.
Of course. We are very happy to see that you have returned. Your friend seemed quite worried about you. But your fee has been paid, and you may cross the old ford free of charge this time.
Sweet. I love free things. Thank you very much, lads.
Indeed.
You enjoy your guard's watch.
Safe travels, each of you.
And yeah, we continue.
And with that, Feanor, I'm going to have you make one last final survival check for me as you navigate your way back to the Easterly Inn.
Yeah, just really quick to the Beyondings, I'd just say, like,
Oh, yeah.
pass on my regards to, like, the other people I've met here previously.
Of course. Absolutely.
I'll try and find their names.
They
but-
collect your name and everything, and they'll pass the information as they will. So no
Yeah.
worries. Perfect.
But I got a 10 for that roll.
10. You take about 3 days. So it's actually about a 5-day trip total. You were able to cut a day out of that travel. So 5-day trips, you were able to make your way towards the Easterly Inn. And upon your arrival, you see Valinith out front. He seems to be reading something or writing something down in his journal. He looks up to you and he offers a gentle smile as he says, "Ha! What took you so long? Just kidding. I've been here for half a day, maybe? Wow, you made quick work. Oh, I see you found Dindy."
Yes. It's good to see you too.
Very good to see you.
We're just
Great
gonna,
to see you, Valinith.
yeah, we're gonna take him inside, but
I expected to see you looking worse for wear. Wow, you made quick work of those goblin
Worst
tunnels.
wear. I'm so
Whoa.
disheveled right now. I need a bath.
yeah, just if you head over to probably what I assume was one of your rooms, I can tell Dirty that you're back and taking a bath.
Oh yeah. See if Shadrach can get me that those flowers that I like in my baths. Yeah, he'll know what I mean.
And immediately you see Shadrach coming from kind of off in the wooded area off to the side. And you see, and he barks and he sprints over to you and actually sits down at your feet, Jess. And he begins panting and kind of like rubbing his, basically his ears into you. And following behind you, you see Rufus as well. He actually has gotten a haircut. He's been bathed. He's
Oh my
looking
God.
really good. Much
Who is
larger
this
dog.
new hound that they've gotten at this establishment? They got rid of Rufus and they've replaced him.
Oh no! He's still a dirty old dog, but we love him, don't we? And Rufus
still
comes
stinky?
sprinting over, just like all like super excited to see all of you.
What do you
Feanor,
mean that he's light
jumps up-
grey?
He jumps up on you and almost knocking you to the ground, and he begins licking your face. And you hear the creak of the door open, and you hear Dodie come out, and you see, and he goes, "Well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes? Tell me you found my brother." And up on Theodric's shoulder is Dindy still, who just is been nearly fading in and out of consciousness the whole way. He's a little bit overreacting of the situation.
I think you best make him a bed and some tea and get him some biscuits and we'll get him all tucked in. He's had a rough time, but we're gonna get him. He's gonna be okay. If you could run a bath as well, get some hot water, not just for him but also for Jess here.
When I received your note, I knew right away. My brother was in good hands. He would be back safe, most definitely. I heard a little bit about what happened. I heard you fought goblins. Dindy, you see, you're just like Bilbo Baggins surviving the goblin tunnels. I might start bragging about you. You better be careful.
If anything, Dirty, you should brag about him. He single-handedly survived in a goblin cave, feeding an entire horde by himself. I feel like that's something more impressive.
Indeed. Agatha needs to
Especially
know
for just
about
a
this.
simple hobbit of the Shire.
Agatha, sweetie, come out. Dindy is home. And Agatha, she appears and goes, "Oh, thank the heavens." And she runs over and she gives, actually first Jess, you a hug and says, "I'm so happy that you're safe. Oh, I was so worried about each of you." And she goes over to Dindy, who at this point has been basically taken down on
Unloaded,
off of the shoulder,
yeah.
Unloaded. And Theodric's like, "Where's Baradorok?" And he just walks off a little wandering, trying to go find his horse. But Agatha gives him a big hug, and Dindy just melts in her grasp. Just like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I lost a lot of our stuff. Don't make me go back. I want to spend a Christmas alone here with all of you." and he gets escorted in with Agatha, and Doty's like, "Oh, now, he'll be fine. He's always been a little bit, how do I explain? A little bit of an over-exaggerator, if you know what I mean. But I'm so happy you're here."
As he actually says that, I'm going to grab him by like the front of his shirt and pull him close and be like, "You respect what he's been through.
Oh,
You have
goodness.
no idea. You have no idea what it was like.
Oh,
He could have died many, many times.
I
He's
see.
braver than you could ever imagine. Respect that."
Make a
And I let go of it.
intimidation check for me.
Yeah. A dirty one.
Dirty He looks to you and he just looks at you, he's like, "Oh, goodness." And then as you're talking, like, you can see that, like, his like eyes are darting back and forth. He takes in what you're saying, but he gives a big whiff. "Perhaps we'll talk after a nice good bath from you. You smell like a dirty troll hole." And he begins, "The baths are this way. Come. Shadrach, show him the way."
But no, Valineth, it's good to see you again. I pray the travel back wasn't too tedious.
No, indeed. In fact, we were actually greeted by the Beornings on our way back in this direction. They were a little bit nervous that we hadn't made it quite to our destination, so they set out a couple of lookouts for us. And, well, to our great relief, we were escorted back to the bridge, and in fact, Shadrach met us at the old ford, and we made our way all the way back in swift due time.
Do you know where Igor is? Is he still here?
Igor. Yes, of course. He is actually in eating his second breakfast, as it were.
I have something to talk to him about. It's good to see you again, friend.
It's good to see you as well. And Doty, he actually walks over to you, Jess, and he holds out his hand in order to shake, like very prim and proper.
Yeah, I'll like reach out and clasp his hand in both of mine.
And he shakes for a moment, and you can see that he's beginning to get teary-eyed as he
Yeah,
pulls
pull
you
him
in
into a
for a
hug.
hug. Thank you for bringing me back. I thought he was a goner between us. That's enough of that for now. He's safe,
Yeah.
and he's home.
I keep a hold of his hands, like with that trademark, like with the comforting grip, and I'll just say, he nearly was. We got him. He's here. He's safe. He's home with his family.
And so are you. Consider yourself at home here, all of you. I know you've been here for some time with us and spending, well, wonderful hours reminiscing about the Shire. We do miss it so, but seeing your face does remind me of home quite a bit. But now that I see Dindy's back, I will never take for granted family. Ever, ever, ever. You have, as a party, unlocked the Easterly Inn as a sanctuary.
Woo!
Nice.
That means I can get rid of my last exhaustion here.
That is true. And thus begins the start of your holiday phase. We will, when we go to your guys' individual sessions, we'll go over kind of your last minute things of what you wanted to talk about, any last minute things you wanted to wrap up here. But we're going to actually use this as the opportunity to end our final stream of the year. Final Adventures in Middle-earth stream of 2023 with a very successful and very cleverly and very entertaining, to be quite honest.
Very entertaining.
It was fantastic.
Oh, it really was,
well
though.
done, everybody. This was a way to go out with an absolute bang for the new year.
100%.
Absolutely.
This will probably be one of the better episodes that we've had. We've had like some really good ones. This would have to be up there in like the top 5.
Oh, for sure.
Honestly.
Yeah.
It was a good one. Very clever, very creative. You guys did an amazing job. I'm just beyond
We all got
impressed.
to do fun character
Oh,
voices.
Right?
We
the
all got to
character
do fun
voices.
character voices. You did a
Right.
goblin, I did an orc, Kyle did like 50 of them. Oh, the Goblin King's voice when he was like crying and stuff. Your acting was excellent. It was just having me crack up. Like,
You
Oh
guys,
my god.
like I just love how creative you were able to go through this. Like, I mean, this was one of those sessions that I was so looking forward to because it could have gone a number of different ways. I mean, not only were the dice rules for the most part on your side, but you also like, you know, you made lemonade out of lemons when you got them natural ones when they came. Jess, your freaking rolling was on fire tonight. Holy crap.
Oh man.
It was
When I get
insane.
it, I gotta.
The only
The
thing that
dice
could have
notes.
made it better is if Dom was feeling better. But I'm glad everyone was able to survive, and things are good going forward. But yeah, actually, let's just jump right into the thoughts on tonight's session. We can kind of do this as a
Do
group if you want to do that. Share whatever thoughts you have, because I am very keen to hear what your thoughts are on tonight's session.
I'm actually curious to hear like your thoughts on how it went going about rescuing Dindy, because like I just went in there, I'm dressed as a goblin, I got no plan, let's just talk, see what comes of it.
What did we do? Like, how did it go against how your expectations?
I had a couple of expectations. But the first one that crossed my mind weeks ago was just like, they're gonna cut his foot off. What's going to happen?
And then we literally said that in the session.
Oh my god.
There's actually a thing, like he had if you even mentioned it around him, he passes out, and you have to basically like convince him, which is bad if he passes out, because obviously the goblins are gonna come for food.
And it's like dead weight, yeah.
Yeah, you basically have to succeed in checks and offer him tea in order to get him to be like, like from being like just. Yeah, that was the first thing that I thought. And then as the session went, I was like, it could go the humorous route. There was always going to be the speech that was going to happen, but it had more to do with like if you guys were able to tell if like they were drunk or not. If you weren't able to tell, I would have played it off probably as a little bit less kind of drunken and crazy frivolity. Just to kind of be like, I don't really know what's like for you guys from your perspective, like you don't really know what's going on. So it was funny. It was fun that I was able to, based off of your guys' checks, go a little bit goofier with that. That's for sure.
Especially with like the fact that we took a goblin prisoner and we could like sneaking in as another goblin and. So,
no, like we literally took a goblin prisoner, and then
did
everyone was just like, "Hey, go!"
You did an amazing job of being like, "Hey, boss, they're talking about like they're better than the orcs." Yeah, your boss says he's better than you. And like even when they came in to where Feanor was like, I'm his thought process is I'm an orc, they're goblins, they're probably scared of orcs. If I buddy up to them, they're gonna really enjoy that.
Yeah.
But like being able to just manipulate our way through the whole thing, I was so expecting it as it got closer and closer to the end to just devolve into fighting.
And I was ready for it. I had this battle up, like this battle sheet up, and I was like so ready to throw 40 goblins at you. But no, it was great. One of the things
I'm
that, like,
so glad we avoided that though.
I'm so glad you did
so
too.
badly.
The one thing is with this, none of those goblins actually had weapons, so they would have attacked you with forks and knives essentially, which they would essentially just do like if they hit you with the attack, it would just be like 1 damage. So basically they'd be swarming you and doing like poking you with like 1 damage. That's
but even so, like 40 damage. And I only have 18 hit points, so
it's great. You take 1 damage. What happens? Do you just not take it? Do we just count that, or do we do a coin flip to see if you take? If you're in a rage and you take 1 damage, you reckon?
Yeah, I guess it would. I guess it would be a coin flip at that point.
Just because, like, with a normal weapon, you'd just be like,
it'd be like half cover probably.
Yeah, and it's like, flip a coin. Yep. Okay, you took a damage. But no, it was excellent. Like I said, I love the acting. I love that there was the opportunity for it's like there's so much silver here, and we're like, no, we just need to get out of here.
I actually had to have an internal debate with myself because like
this is like
Jess's character is canonically very greedy, and like this is the reason that she's out here to get coin and to get rich. But at the same time, she like there's a lot of goblins here, so she needs to, like, do I just
Survival
let
instinct.
her be greedy, or does she realize in this moment that she needs to, like, prioritize her safety and the safety of Dindy and the others? So
Yeah, absolutely.
that was actually really cool. I know you
No.
didn't put that in there just for me, but it felt like it was just for me.
Oh yeah, no, it's great, and like it could have technically been any one of you that could have seen that, depending on who you decided to throw in there, checks passed or everything. I think the thing, like, for me that I was most impressed with was the quick thinking on your feet. And I don't want to compare you to like other groups that I've seen run this, but the ones that I've seen, a lot of the times they just sit there and they're just like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And like the entire session's them like not interacting, but just being like, I have no idea what to do, and then they'll do a roll and it'll fail or like succeed or something,
Yeah.
and then like it devolves into chaos and madness. But like I love how like quick on your feet you were thinking. It really felt like, you know, the pressure was on to kind of determine like, oh, I don't have all day. Where in reality, you really do have to think on your feet as far as like being down in a goblin hole. You're just like, oh, what would Jess do? What would Feanor do? And you like debate with each other like over and over again. I'm glad. I mean, if it happened, it happened, but I'm glad it didn't, because I thought the pacing of this episode was really good. I thought there was just like jumping back and forth. I know it was like super Jess heavy, but like even those points where like you did check back in with Feanor and Theodric, like those were great opportunities as well. Because I think that's something
we
that you
were
need to
doing
draw.
Middle Earth Master Chef. Like that's that's like excellent.
And just like, and I'm glad like you left
I'm
someone
honest-
behind too.
Yeah, I'm just like really glad that like you allowed Jess to be separate from everyone else and just do her thing, because like other people would have been a hindrance to what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
I
thought
thought you
about
guys
it, like,
talked that through too, and like that was like, I think it like in a very much agreed upon thing, like as a party, that's what's going to happen. Like you all had kind of your roles. I mean, you didn't know exactly what was going to happen, like you were saying, Jess. Like you were like, I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm just going to go do this. But the fact that like Feanor and Theodric trusted her enough to do that, but like also helping technically keep Dindy alive during that whole process, because he was like right about to break. And so like you guys, the things that you were doing back in the larder were actually quite important too, because I think a lot of people are just like, he's gonna be fine, he'll cook, let's just go explore, let's go get loot, let's go do whatever the case, and then everybody spreads out. But then what happens is like crap hits the fan, right? Like the one that was really good about that is, Jess, you were just like, all right, great, I'm gonna go, and you were able to go right back. The party was able to reunite, didn't have to go search in the goblin tunnels for everything. And yeah, I thought like it was weird. I kind of felt like at the very end of that, it was just like, all right, let's go. And that was like an interesting feeling to me, because it was just like, okay, we're gonna cover our escape a little bit by sowing a little bit of division, but it's just like, we did it. Let's go.
We don't have to kill every goblin and every orc and get all the loot. We did our mission. This very much for me, like in my framework, I mentioned it briefly, is like when Feanor went off and was diving through the woods getting chased by like 40 spiders. This is like that moment for Jess of just the really good rolls, and it's just boom, boom, going forward and forward, really showing off the character, and really getting that moment to like let them shine. And while everyone else is still doing important stuff, like we're still pumping out food, and I'm like, I'm thinking, what can I make? You know, what food can I do that'll keep it interesting?
It answers that question. What happens when you run out of the cheese?
Yeah.
You turn to fish.
Shit's man. I was like, what else smells? I'm like, fish will do.
So good.
But just being able to, like, it was a very Jess heavy episode, but it still felt fun and engaging to be listening to what Jess was doing and to be in the background going like, quick, more cheese! Theodric, stop messing around! Get the fish from the barrel!
I don't know what you're
I'm
talking
glad
about.
that I'm glad that you felt like you were still entertained and you were still having like a really fun time, Nick, even though like it was like mostly me, because I know like some people. Yeah. I'm glad you weren't bored.
I'll
No.
tell you
I
this. Like, I'm very pleased pleased with this party specifically because I think it can easily devolve where people have main character syndrome, and it's I mean, you have this, you spend time building this really cool character, and you're just like, I want to do things, I want to you know, be cool, I want to do great stuff. And like a lot of people, especially people that are new to D&D, not saying you guys are, but like they're just like, I want to always be involved in whatever is going on. And so like I'm really impressed with this group because I think you give each other the space to let each other's characters shine when it is important. I think you have the what do you call it, the like player knowledge to be able to understand like they're having their space. I don't need to jump in and interject for this thing. Like this is like their moment, and I think it's really great. Whether it's being streamed or just a regular game, it's very important to have a party that can respect each other. But also, like even if you are bored, because it does happen. Like sometimes you're just like, this has nothing to do with me. You know, sometimes just be able to sit back and be like, you let it evolve the way that it does. You know, so. I think you guys do a great job of that. And if you're feeling bored, you definitely don't show it. So that makes me happy as a DM.
And let's be honest, at any point that could have gone to, this is full combat, everyone's now in the thick of things.
Yeah.
It only just so happened, because everything worked how we wanted it to, that it was very Jess heavy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like,
It was
you
a
can look back
perfect
at it.
episode in that respect.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you can look back on it and go, oh, it was very Jess heavy, but no, it was like at any moment you're engaged constantly, because it could be like, oh no, some orcs are going to come up here, and I'm like, oh, they're going to come for the changing of the guard. Oh, actually, they've been dismissed. Oh, thank God. Oh no, they're up here. Oh, they're killing goblins. Oh God. How do we deal with this?
That escalated so freaking fast.
But
100%.
yeah, then at the end being able to scream like, yeah, they're like betraying us, they're killing us, because it literally just happened in front of us.
Yeah.
And Jess was back with us, and we'd gotten Dindy out, and it's like time to sow some extra chaos here. And then we were able to get out, and get to where we needed to, making use of the places we'd visited already in the adventure. Like it was really good. It was really good to be able to piece everything together so far to make a solid little escape.
Yeah.
The one thing
Like,
that
just-
yeah, go ahead. No, absolutely, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna circle back to like the whole screen time thing, because like one of the biggest adjustments for me when I first started playing D&D was the realization that I wasn't the main character.
Oh,
And like that's a whole other thing.
We
but
all
like
go
it's
through that.
definitely a thing.
We all
That's
go through
definitely a
that.
thing.
was me years ago. Absolutely. Oh man.
I think what helps, like in our group specifically, is that because it's so small, everyone has the space to shine.
Yeah.
As well, so like we all like get our sort of turn, and you're not like waiting forever to be in the spotlight.
And I
think
also
that's
too want
very
to
cool.
like when I'm like building these campaigns, I really want to build a campaign, even though it's a pre-written campaign, everything like that. I want to immerse your characters in that, and that's why like I reach out to you like on Discord and things, like gaining information so I can do that for you, because I know it's really exciting when you do get that time to shine. But I give you information, relative stuff, to like actually be like, yeah, this is cool, I want to like go with it and jump on that. So it is a little bit of extra work. Like DMs out there, especially if you are DMing for the first time, don't just expect that a group is just going to fall into place the way that they are. It is a combination of a lot of things, like patience for that, and it does, I will say, require a lot of attention to detail and listening to your players, and helping to kind of like, as the game progresses and as the players begin to discover themselves, you also as a DM have to be observant to that too, and you know, just move on the fly with things are always going to be set in stone, and it's great to be able to kind of contribute to their character growth as well.
I think with this group, it really helps as well, is that for anything that it's like, oh, like we should discuss this, it kind of gets discussed in character as well. So it's like, it's not just, oh, you know, today is Jess's episode. It's, no, this is a thing that like she's better at.
Yeah.
And it makes logical sense for all of us to send her in stealthily on her own as a resort. Like, here is a bell. I understand that I understand my purpose in this. This is for if you need help.
Yep.
Like all that kind of stuff, like just being able to still organically in universe be able to go, we've got our roles, we know what we're doing, stay safe. And then that corresponds to like some people might view that as like above game, looking down on it, being like, we'll send in the one stealthy person, but if you're in the situation, you send the one stealthy person.
You send, yeah, like Jess knows what she's good at, and she's good at like charisma and like being stealthy. Like that's literally how I introduced her today. You know, like she knows what she's about, and yeah, it just makes sense. Like,
yeah,
in game, your character knows what the other character's like abilities are, so it just
time together. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
You're bonding,
don't
traveling. It's great.
Exactly. You don't send the paladin for a stealth mission. That just doesn't work.
Yeah,
Link
yeah.
playing.
So I do, yeah. So I do like that we're able to quite organically flow between all that stuff and
100%.
be able to like move without feeling hindered and play a role without feeling like, oh, this is all I ever do.
And I think that was like one of the big reasons too why Dain ended up leaving the campaign was actually primarily for that reason. He's like, when I am waking up at 2 a.m., I'm just not in a place where I can be that aware of like everything that is going on. He's like, I felt like the vast majority of the time I was just taking a back seat. I would add my 2 cents, but I wasn't doing anything that was like worthwhile, like of the campaign. And so I understand kind of where he's coming from with that, and hopefully we can get him in another part of the campaign that it helps with that. But yeah, no, it's really exciting. The one thing that I wanted to actually point out, though, that I think was probably one of the most impressive things from this episode to come out with is like when you escaped, the fact that like there weren't goblins actively knowing what went on. Like, that's how you knew that it was like, I would say this mission was a critical success. Maybe not with Andy dying, but other than that, it was pretty much a critical success.
Who's that?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, we lost a few good people.
Yeah, exactly. But with your escape, it's like you had like this urgency, but man, it could have been so much worse if like the goblins like knew they're like, oh, people have infiltrated us, and they started like chasing you through those tunnels. Like that could have been freaking bad. So
yeah, at any moment it could have turned into like this really bad chase that we would have had to have done, but because we were able to get through it. Like I said, everything worked out exactly how we needed it to.
Mm-hmm. Whether it was according to plan, who knows? But it worked out how it needed to.
Thinking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. Anything else to add before we close things down for today?
I wanted to ask everyone if they had like highlights for the year.
Oh wow. Look, probably some of the. I'll tell you. I don't necessarily have a highlight. I can tell you the most anxious I have been in this campaign, because I was so terrified of Feanor dying, and like we had a week break as well, and then we came back to it. Was when I turned around to go back and fight.
Savage Taller.
What was his name? Savage Taller.
That was crazy.
It's like in the moment when I was playing, it's like I was so immersed in the moment of it's like, what would I do? What would I do? And then he just like turns to Theodric and goes, "Keep them safe," and jumps and rides back. It's like, it was so terrifying. I was just sitting there thinking about it, like for 2 weeks. Like, God, I'm an idiot. God, what am I gonna do? I'm about to go fight a giant spider that instantly killed Megla. Like, what the hell am I doing? I'm like, I'm gonna die. My mount's gonna die. We literally just lost Jalen.
Yeah.
But no, and then getting
a few close call episodes, that's for sure.
Yeah, and getting into that and going through that whole encounter and not even taking a hit. Like, yes, Nim got pretty badly hurt, but like coordinating. That's probably a very Feanor-driven episode. That we had, because it was cutting back to everyone else fleeing, and like we finally got safe. Like, where's that dwarf dude gone? And cut back to Feanor.
We never found him.
Circle. Yeah, Feanor did go. Like, what happened? Oh, he's gone. Okay, he must have headed off. But that's one of the mysteries, hopefully, that probably won't ever come up again.
There's plenty. Trust me, the things that happen, even if it seems kind of like passively, I'm creating a web of things. Don't you worry. Things actually make sense. Like, and it'll be like, oh yeah, like I remember that guy. Or like, oh yeah, like he just like showed up like once. Like, trust me, it's all. I probably won't be able to cover every basis, but like I've got my fingers in this. It's good. It's great.
But no, but it's been really good, and it's like just being able to have these moments of it's like just like back and forth and tension, and being able to really develop the characters and stuff. Because like I think
Continue talking. I'm listening. I'll be right back.
Being able to go from being like I'm like a young guy who gets in a fist fight. So I was in a fist fight club, and I know the locals, and like I've drunk the beer here. Here, let's shove Valinus in like the river as like a hey, it's a greeting, boom, and getting dragged in, and us all having fun. To be able to turn around and have moments like Nim's neck has just been like ripped at by like a wolf, and Fëanor it goes into like a cold rage that he hasn't gone in. We've seen Theodric time and time again give in to his like rage because it just takes over, but we've never seen it from Fëanor. And so to actually have like Jess's first moment of like real big combat or anything, and one of her companions basically went into a blood fury and nuked himself and an enemy to turn around while on fire to then beat more enemies to death with his hands, like it was so good to be able to play that other side of a character, because he didn't really care if he got hurt, but because like this dear Nim, like his friend, this like companion that he has who trusts him implicitly, got really badly injured. It was like attacking Fëanor, and he just lost it. And it was very fun to be able to do that and play around with that idea of this character is very, very loving and sweet and carefree, and when he doesn't ever really rage, and then be able to show that there is a darkness there, even if that is just a result of her adventure so far.
Yeah. So
No, it's good.
What about you, Leah? Top five, top moments.
Okay, I'll go for top 2 because this is the ones that I've thought of. Actually, just like, okay, I've changed my mind. I'm doing top 3. Okay, in no particular order, or I guess in chronological order. How the party came together in the first place, like doing all like the festival stuff and all the like competitions there. I really like how there was just sort of this immediate bond of friendship that everyone had together, and then of course fighting in the melee and everything that came after. It was just like a really wholesome moment.
And I think something that also builds on top of that moment as well is, for a lot of us, like with this Fantasy Forge community has existed, but like it was also the very first time that like everybody like together actually like really did come together like as a group to be able to bond and to be able to grow. I like in game and out of game, like very fast friends, and like that was super cool.
100%.
Especially because we didn't all particularly know each other very well. I know that I was very new, like I hadn't really seen a whole lot of anything. It's actually Leah introduced me to the community, and I was able to quickly look at some of the content and tune into some of the streams. But being able to play in this has been good. It's been a good addition to my like the communities that I'm a part of, and being able to play this game and be able to experience new things and talk to new people. And look, I do feel a bit bad that Dain isn't going to be here anymore, but like
he's here in
literally
spirit. You saw he woke up.
Yeah.
He set his alarm.
Yeah.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah. It's like oh, it sucks, but it's like any other thing. It's like my friend now isn't going to be able to be here to talk to me as often. And it's like, oh, that's a shame. And with Balineth going as well, it's like, oh, we had such a bromance going on. Like, you have Fëanor and Theodric, and they've got like their, we're like manly men. Yeah, bro, headbutt me, boom. Yeah. But then also having like the little, almost like teacher, like student moments between Fëanor being like, haha, I'm reckless, and Balineth being like, how about you take a step back and reflect on that? And I'm like, whoa. Whoa,
That's
I'm reckless.
deep,
And he's like, yeah, you are.
I never thought about
Grow
that.
out your hair.
I'm
Your hair
genuinely
offends me.
like I'm genuinely really happy that you were able to join the group, Nick, because like I didn't even know that you had Wednesday nights free when I messaged you. I'm just
Yeah.
like, man, we
I
need
know,
another
it was great.
person.
And it was great because I DM'd for Leah in the past.
Yeah.
Because we studied together. So it was actually great to hear from her as well. And I hadn't heard from you in a little while.
Yeah.
It's a good little way to reach out and connect again through that.
That's great.
Yeah, that's great.
D&D, bringing people together.
Yes. Only if you can like link up your
schedules.
your schedule.
I think that's just a general D&D issue.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Other two
Okay,
moments.
so moment number 2 would be sending off Jalen. Like, oh boy, I was feeling all the emotions when she died, and like just the way we sent her off in the end was just like super sweet and wholesome. I loved it. Yeah.
I'm not like the people watching probably didn't really see we all got new character tokens with new art.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we showed him last week.
Oh, I showed him last week, yeah.
So
and
good.
Theodric's character having like the lock of Jalen's hair in
Yeah.
his own. Like that's just like such a lovely touch. It's like while the character's gone, she's still here with us, and
yeah.
I'll
yes.
give you one.
Isn't the last we've heard of Jalen? She'll be brought up again in the future at some point.
Oh, 100%.
But
100%.
yeah, and like
She was
the little song that you have, like that you
Yeah,
that you had. I'm not
I
sure. Did you
remember.
did you write that yourself, or is that one that you found?
No, I made it up.
Yeah, because like for Feanor, he has a notebook and he doesn't have very many things in it. And
Wait, is that?
is that Jalen?
Yep.
Oh, how cool!
Oh, she looks amazing.
We got it. We got it done before she died.
Oh my god.
We never had a chance to use it. So
That's
You need to send that to me
fantastic.
immediately.
with the prancing pony behind.
Oh,
Behind
my
is
God, I love
actually
it.
AME art. Like you guys will notice on your portraits that like I
Yes.
put them over
Yeah.
actual official AME art, but yeah. So there you go.
Looks
Is that
amazing.
with Jalen's song? I think I have it written down because it's one of
Yeah.
those little things that's like if there's ever going to be a big moment where we're like in charge of like a group like an army of people, it's going to be one of those things. Like
Yeah.
for all those lost in darkness, for all who never wake, for all who drown in shadow, our resolve must never shake.
Yeah.
It's like that's just such a like core thing for Feanor as well, because him and Jalen would spend almost every night on watch together, just
Yeah.
talking. And when he died, it really rocked him hard, like to the point where Feanor was just like, "I am going to kill that man, like that elf, like Maeglin. Nothing will stop me. I will be conniving. I will be cunning. I won't just be as direct as I am. I will do whatever it takes to end him." And it's like that was it was a big shift as well, because Feanor was very much like a, look, I'm a run in and hit things kind of lad. But he, gritted his teeth and waited for the right moment. And then he never got to take it. So that actually sits with him as well. He never got to avenge his friend. So for the people watching, we're going away in our fellowship phases. I'm potentially, Feanor's thinking of going to Breland and going and meeting Jalen's family. And telling them of the wonderful warrior that she became and the impact of all the people in Dale and him and Theodric and Valineth, the change that she was able to bring into this world of darkness, however brief it might have been.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Last one.
And it's,
Last one. It's a pretty small moment, but it's when Dom realized that Jess was a crystal girl.
Yes.
his reaction, priceless.
Absolutely. And it was just like,
He was
not only
literally
the
holding
reaction-
his head in his hands.
It's not only the reaction, it's the fact that it took him that long to realize. It was so freaking funny to me. It was everything I ever hoped for in introducing the new character.
Oh,
It was so fun.
For sure.
And what about you, Kyle?
Yeah.
Out of everything that's gone on, all the adventures we've been on, what's the thing that you look back and go, look, this is the thing that I find really interesting.
I
that
have
I really
4 specific, not specific moments, but kind of just like arcs that like I was seeing. Like, something that's always gonna sit with me is everybody's session zeros. It was cool being able to get to know all of you and to kind of. It was like the first time that I mean, I was excited to do this, but like really excited. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is going to be so deep. I'm like so pumped to be able to write, you know, fun content for this group. Got to know all of you, your personalities, so that was really fun. I really loved these past, I would say, 3 or 4 sessions, kind of like the end of this kind of arc. I thought it, like, everybody has kind of sunken into their own. Is very comfortable with playing by far at this point. And it's been really fun. Like, ever since, like, Haycomb all the way to this was big. Probably the next one was the... probably the... There's so many good ones. I really liked the Folkmoot. The Folkmoot was really fun. I think you guys did a good job, especially kind of dealing with, like, between, like, Dagmar, Maeglin, just, like, doing, like, political type things, like, with the Woodmen. Like, it really, that was, to me, was, like, a big one where it was just, like, that was one of the first times that I felt like, wow, you guys are actually plugged into Middle-earth. Like, up until that point, it was, like, you're doing stuff in Middle-earth, but it was kind of, like, your own adventures, where now, like, at that point, you were, like, plugged into, like, the actual history and the lore that's going on in Middle-earth and the things, like, the events that are happening within Tolkien's writings. So that was, like, a big turning point there for that.
I remember you said we caught you by surprise a fair few times. Like, just big things that you're like, I've never seen anyone do that before.
Absolutely. And like seeing you guys talk through them and whatnot. But I would say my number one moment, hands down, was the funeral for Jalen. I think that was not the pinnacle of everything, but like I was like sitting here and I could see that everyone was pouring their heart and soul into that session for everything that was happening. Like, heck, like freaking Dain was crying on stream. There was like all kinds of like very touching moments, like the whole like thing with like the dagger, like the song, the I don't know, just like kind of like the whole like goodbye sequence with like Gandalf in the Prancing Pony.
I was gonna say, yeah, that was super touching. As well, to be able to, it's like, yeah, like her adventure isn't over. Like she's not with us.
I didn't expect that, by the way. Okay, Kyle did not say anything to me about that at the time. I was just like, yeah, I'm probably not going to be in this session because they're saying, like, they're having, like, the funeral and everything. And then at the end, Kyle pops up with that, and I was like, oh, okay.
It was only fitting with, I think, like, the way that Jalen's story was going, where, like, she was tasked with finding the Grey Pilgrim and everything, and now she has found him, kind of tying in a little bit of the lore of just Gandalf in general, the difference between Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White, kind of almost like this purgatorial stage where it's just like you're moving on, and Gandalf the White is still kind of in that. He hasn't been called forth to Middle-earth quite yet, because Gandalf the Grey is still there. He hasn't fallen to the Balrog yet, and so he's kind of like there to, his journey hasn't started, but he's also the end of Jalen's journey for the new beginning. And so there's kind of like this like play of like the works of Tolkien, but also I thought it was very touching and very personal. So like that was a big one. And also I loved Maeglin. I loved playing an evil, wicked, terrible.
You loved how much we all hated him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew I was playing him right when I realized you guys were just like, he's got to die. And I'm like,
yeah, and then we all changed our minds halfway through the next episode, and I was like, bro.
Oh no, Fëanor didn't. No matter what was really going to death, the only thing that would have stopped him is straight up if Caranthiel said like stepped between them to like stop him from, like, if Maeglin was on the ground defenseless, Fëanor would have just walked up and very like no speech, nothing, would have just slit his throat.
Wow.
Just like super cold, like however many points of shadows that might have been, and like the only thing that would have stopped that was Caranthiel. Like the fact that he like kind of sacrificed himself, like didn't redeem him at all in Fëanor's eyes. He's like, cool, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah. No, it
You
was.
should get Dom to like show you his revenge speech. 'Cause, like, he has
I'm
this-
actually curious about that because that's something.
Really?
Actually, I don't know how
Oh, I
familiar
don't
you
know.
guys are, but like my when I was like seeing like Megalyn and everything, I was like, yeah, this dude is literally Negan from The Walking Dead.
Yes.
I have not seen that show.
Yeah. He's
Literally
like this-
kills like one of the fan favorite characters. That's his introduction.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bashes
how
his head
dare
in with a baseball
he.
bat.
Yep. Which I guess
they can
technically that freaking happened with
Yeah,
Galen.
that's what I'm saying. He literally walked up, killed one of our main cast, and then just went like, "You will work for me now." Literally.
Bruh.
Yeah, the
It's literally
freaking
how it
Megalyn,
worked,
he was a great character. Very evil. I'm not saying he's great, like we should aspire to be him, but he was very, very not good.
Mogdred. Oh, that was another good
Mogdred.
character that just like Mogdred had the potential to have been that evil, but
He's
we
a
were all like,
jerk,
"There's
but
something."
yeah.
We're like, "There's something." No, there's something different here.
Yeah.
Like it's a malice, but it's like
And you wouldn't
It's
have
currently-
known again if checks wouldn't have happened. Like it's
Or
those things
if-
where
More specifically, if I hadn't invited him to dinner.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, like if you hadn't invited him, like showed him like a little bit of like mercy and that kind of stuff. I know like Valinith had a really strong check during that where it was just like he could like sense like pretty much like read him, and he used actually his thing that he got studying at Woodisold in order to gain the advantage on that roll to get it. So like his fellowship phase was like used in a very good way to be able to
super
do that.
integral. That, yeah.
Yeah,
That
and so-
fellowship phase.
I might as well tell you now. Part of Jalen Jess's Yule phase. I wanted to go to Tyrant's Hill to like check on
Oh,
Mordred.
that's so interesting.
It is interesting, isn't it? I had the idea, and I'm like,
I can only
Yeah.
imagine. I reckon. I haven't spoken to Dom about it. I reckon he's going to go to Mountain Hall to go find out more about everything that's going on because he now has a moment to.
yeah,
We're all splitting up again.
that's okay.
It's a good thing. The
Well,
one thing
we'll
I
make
will, the
that-
one thing I will say is, yes, you as a party, as a group. I want you guys to talk about like, general like, what is your meeting up point like at the end of this, so we can start. moving forward.
I honestly vote for the Easterly Inn.
Your new
Yeah,
sanctuary.
it's Yeah,
You
why
said
not?
through.
It's an
Yeah.
easy spot, and
Yeah, depending on where things go to, like it might be just like the
perfect-
middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Just
the
like if you're
Easterly
going
Inn-
over the Mist Mountains.
There's potential to not unlock the Easterly Inn with like the events and everything that you do. I felt like you guys role played well enough at the Easterly Inn and made the connections and did the things you needed to do to grant that to you. Usually it's like a mechanic thing that you have to be like, all right, you gotta do this, this, and this in order to unlock it. Which you did things to unlock it, but like I felt like it just made so much more sense. And so like it is a very, very strategic like central location, because if you think about it, your only other one is like in Mirkwood in Woodland Hall, and so yeah, technically right now those are your two sanctuaries. So and it's
did
great
we ever
because
make-
future
Yeah.
adventures, all you have to do is just spend one night sleeping there, and then you get the benefits of a long rest. So
Yeah.
very useful.
I feel like we had a bit of a head start in unlocking it though, because I spent so much time there.
I'm okay with that.
yeah,
That's great.
yeah. I look. It didn't pan out, but I do like that Feanor's overarching plan of uniting, like, kind of Middle Earth and creating stronger bonds is kind of working. You know, with Mogdred's like more firepower for the Woodmen. The Woodmen are better off. The Woodmen, we've tried to prompt. You should negotiate more with the Bjornings. I sent off letters to like my father and to Dale of it's like the Woodland lands and stuff would like to trade more and establish greater connections and build better roads between here and there. And it's just like I as the player felt when I left as Feanor to go talk to all the leaders of the different places in the Woodland. I was like this sucks, because like I like playing Feanor and I like how he plays with off everyone else, but I don't get that opportunity to spend time with them and like interact with them. But this is something that is important to him, so he's going to go off and do that anyway and meet his friends soon. Because for everyone else, he was gone for 2 months, come back, and he spent 2 weeks with them, and they're probably about to all separate again anyway. He's spent more time, like a long period of time away from them. And who knows? Maybe that you'll be able to convince him to go with you to somewhere like Tyrant's Hill.
Yeah, if you want to.
Things to think about. That's for sure.
He's still trying to make a standing army. Well,
Here's
or like
the
an
question:
army.
would you let me go by myself?
Oh yeah, probably. He's not gonna
okay.
stop you. He's like, it's your funeral. No. You seemed well enough acquainted, and he is now an ally of the Woodmen. So it's and like that's instrumental. Like that was done through our efforts and our votes. Like his people wouldn't be getting the things that they need. They could potentially be at war. I think we could consider we're friendly at least. And the fact that you're like.
He did give me a standing invitation to visit.
Yeah,
so.
And if Jess shows up and is like, I am here to like come see how you're doing. You know, like you can be the Mogdred or whatever. I'm here to see how you're doing and make sure you're okay. Is there anything that your people need? Is there anything that I can help you with? Like, you know, like stuff like that. It's like that'll only strengthen bonds. And who knows, maybe far down the line, we really need help and Mogdred's there and like, we're deep friends. I will do this for you. Like, go and build those connections. Feanor's obviously not going to stop you, but who knows, maybe he's in the same neck of the woods, traveling back through the Woodman region. Maybe he'll go home. You know, maybe he'll go with a caravan through the woods again, or go down through the bottom pass the same way that Eldor and Belgo went. Yeah, and go back and see his father again, or go talk to King Bard. But yes, it'll be interesting to see how everything's going. So many potential options. But yes. I think I'm talked out. I think I've.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. I think that's just a testament to this. Like, because I kind of feel the same thing too. It's just like with everything that has happened so far, there's so much to talk about, and it's just like there's never enough time for it. And I think that's just a testament to this game and where it's at so far. You guys are amazing. It's been a pleasure to continue to DM and continue to DM for you guys. And I'm excited to see what 2024 has in store for this group of adventurers in Middle-earth. But I do have a couple of last-minute announcements before we do hang up for the night. So streaming schedule, make sure if you haven't done so yet, check the Discord. We have a weekly schedule section and it is updated to your time zone. So all of our streams are going to be there. Dain is going to be covering Cole's stream. He got a new job and he's got training for it. So he's not going to be streaming on, I guess today, Wednesday, at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Dain will take over that stream. He'll be continuing some Ocarina of Time. Same thing on Thursday and Saturday. And then from then on, there might be a little bit of, for Christmas week, something different. But we don't have any Adventures in Middle-earth. I'm not doing Baldur's Gate. As far as I know, none of the other guys are streaming, so we're going to have pretty much a week off from Fantasy Forge Studios. Sorry about that, but we also have holidays to get to as well. But we're very excited for me to be able to end my very last stream of the year with you guys spending time doing some Adventures in Middle-earth. It's always great. We do have a sponsor here, Daisnaki. They're a Japanese sweets and luxury treats company. They sell a number of different Japanese snack boxes, from the Omakase box that has the popular Japanese snacks. The Omakase Lux box has traditional Japanese snacks, and then their character boxes that they have right now. Definitely, if you order from them, say that Fantasy Forge sent you at checkout. It helps us out, and it helps out by just ordering from them, a local family business in Tokyo, Japan. And also free international shipping, so that's cool. That's a big deal. And I know I just literally sent off a package to my parents for Christmas, and it was very pricey. Oh, it hurt my heart. I don't know how they do it, but they do. And additionally, on top of that, if you put your Twitch name, you will get raffle tickets towards when we give away a free Omakase box on the channel and hit our referral limit. But that is it. Any last things for either of you to say before we go for a couple of weeks?
I think it's a good spot to leave it. I'm glad we got to like finish off this little arc, and we'll be able to pick it up with a brand new adventure in the future. And They look at and be able to meet potentially the new member of our party. That,
Yeah. Have happy and safe holidays, everyone, and
Yes.
drive safe if you're driving.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Yes, please drive safe. It's very important too.
If you're driving.
If you're driving. Or flying, or whatever, running. I don't know.
Safe travels all round.
Safe travel.
if you're not
Wear a
driving,
seatbelt.
still drive safe. Fine.
If you're in Australia, wear sunscreen, slip, slip, slap. Stay hydrated. Otherwise, the red panda will come and nibble your toes or something like that.
What the hell are you talking about?
It's a problem.
She doesn't speak for us.
You guys have an amazing one, and happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and may
Yes.
the road go ever onward and onward. Bye, everybody.